Hello, everyone out there in the YouTube's land. Welcome to another Faded Workshop stream. I need to change the name so it's not podcast because we stream these things. So I want everybody to know these are live. There's no editing. You get to see our punk asses live. So that's what we're doing now, or I'm going to start calling it. So let's say hello to siara-gray. How are you doing?
Hi, pretty good.
Awesome.
In light of our topic today, I decided to wear my church dress. Hold up, sorry.
It's the church vaccine dress?
Yes, hold on. Sorry, excuse
Nice.
me.
All right.
My circle light fell a little bit, so forgive me.
So
we're profashes, but with a little flavor.
There you go.
Continue.
So let's say hello to the Tusk. Hello. Tusk.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm also wearing my church dress.
Nice.
And I've got a little set of blue suede pumps on too.
Oh, how cute. You have to show me that later. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Exactly.
It's a party.
Yes. So let's say hello to Purple. Rhymes with orange, demon, and squirrel.
Hello.
I don't know why our panel is so bare today, but that's okay. We're still gonna drudge on and talk about.
It looks like Brainless is hovering around as well. That's a shame.
Well, he said that he is sleeping. He passed out already.
Oh, okay.
He plays too many video games.
He does.
You know what? No judgment.
Badly.
I'm a vampire sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing anything. I'm just like watching reruns of Parks and Rec or some shit.
Oh no, that's that fucking program, isn't it? There's Etty and I more than I likes to watch those cute animal videos. And there's a don't be suspicious. It was driving me mad because I hate it. And it turns out it's from this program called Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
I don't think it's available in the UK, but I watched that one little clip of it, and I'm really glad it's not because it looks trash.
Yeah, it's about
you know what?
A small.
That was just an example.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
And mine's just the
I feel
right
like
one.
I had this conversation with Craig, my partner. Like, he's really into like military stuff, and I really like gore and violence. I don't know. It's like very opposite.
You've got a crossover there.
Like either gore and violence or psychological thrillers or cartoons.
Okay. Well done, Demon Orb. Glad you got your first shot.
Yeah. Congrats. So violent cartoons are your favorite, is what you're saying?
Either or. But lately, actually, I've been binging out on my roommate Eric suggested The Good Place. I've been binging out on that. And it's very I really appreciate that it brings up like the afterlife and humanity and what is good or bad without making it religious in any way.
Yeah, I totally love that part of it.
Cool.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
totally
into
love
that
that
lately, or horror movies.
You reminded me of something that I haven't watched in a while that I need to rewatch. The heavy metal movies, the animated heavy metal movies. You need to watch those if you haven't already.
I had some friends a few years ago who put on the original heavy metal, the series of the short stories and the cartoon. Then we'd watch The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, the Metal Gears, and then the Metallica Year in the Life of Parts 1 and 2. And that was an entire evening. That took up about 8 hours. It was absolutely great. Then at the end of it, we'd usually put on like The Wall or Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii, or just put heavy metal back on and watch it again. Because by that time we were high as fuck. and it made
It
much
kind
more
of reminds
sense.
me of that thing on Netflix, the Love, Sex, Robots. There's new ones of that out that I haven't seen. Also, I like musicals, but I have to watch that when the boys
No,
because
God,
they
I hate
really
musicals. Good God, I hate them.
I live with 2 boys, and none of them like musicals. So,
Oh, there's a surprise.
Have you seen the what's it called again, Sierra? The Sex Love Robots or whatever?
I watched the first season. I think
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, or
Something like.
Love, Sex, Robots.
Okay,
So I
have
saw
you
the
seen
first
that?
season, and then just now I saw, or the other day, whatever. There's a new season out. So basically, if whoever's listening that hasn't heard of it, it's like a series of kind of vignettes of different storylines and different types of animation that all have to do with either AI or robots, whatever, and sex and love.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting. If you haven't seen them, Tusk, I would look it up. They're really interesting short stories. It's kind of like heavy metal, where it's short stories, and they don't really well.
What was it called?
Love, Sex, Robots. I like musicals too.
I watched something on Netflix a while ago. It was a kind of animated thing. It was quite a trippy animation, but it was a series of monologues. It was like real life. Someone talked about how they found Buddhism while they were in prison and how it saved them and things like that. And it was like the animation was really great, but the stories were so dull.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that that's exactly what we're speaking of. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called.
I'm going to have a quick search for that.
Do you remember?
Anybody in the side chat, if you can remember, let us know, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, let's roll on to our subject. I know that we talked about this a little bit on Cookie and Biscuits, I believe, or on Pip's show. I don't remember, but the anti-vaxxers are now convinced that vaccinated people are going to shed their vaccinations on them, and they're wearing masks now to protect themselves from the vaccinated.
That is right up there with the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, so here...
And I know on this channel, we encourage everyone to do what feels right for them, but I also want to note that I rolled as hard as I could.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna watch a segment that the Young Turks did about this. I'm sure I could find the same stuff they talk about, but the way that they did this segment is so wonderful that I'm just gonna use theirs, and if they copyright claim us, I don't care. So let's watch this. Yeah, me too. They're centrist, or they're in the middle, and they talk shit about both sides. And that's why I really like them, because they're not like, oh, well, we're better than them. No, they're like, no, both sides fucking suck, and here's why, which is what we should be talking about. So let's watch these. Anna is going to explain to us their ideology in the QAnon anti-mask / vax community. So let's watch.
Anti-vaxxers, who also tend to be anti-maskers, want to protect themselves from individuals who have been fully vaccinated. In fact, unfortunately, they have bought into a conspiracy theory about people who have been vaccinated shedding proteins. This is real. Unfortunately, health officials had to come out.
Okay. Let's just laugh really quick.
Sorry, I couldn't hold that in. We're shedding proteins.
Vaccine protein? How do you shed a vaccine protein?
That's brilliant. That's what's that fucking episode of The Simpsons?
I meant to get
the aliens
for this week so I could be like, girl, what?
We're going to shed vaccine proteins, and you'll catch the vaccine.
I'm gonna shred proteins
listen.
all over you.
No, listen, it's even sillier. I think they think they're going to catch the virus from us getting vaccinated, and that we're shedding the virus to give.
Do you know what? Do you know that conspiracy that the Republicans started, that they were looking at ballot papers to try and find traces of bamboo to prove they came from China? I thought that was the dumbest thing I was going to hear this week. Turns out it's not even close.
No, that's why
me and Slim are like, we're really sorry about the USA.
Yeah, we're sorry. Americans suck.
I'm very sorry, and I need more wine to watch the rest of this.
America has gone down a very strange rabbit hole.
We're very sorry.
It is very interesting where we've gotten with the conspiracy theorists and QAnon, and I didn't realize this until I was watching another segment from somebody. On Wikipedia, they have a list of every time QAnon's predicted something wrong.
That's a big list.
It is. It's a huge list. So what we may do is later on, since there's not many other people on here to help us discuss the topic, we may look at that list really quick, or at least a couple of them.
Hold up.
Oh,
there's a teacup right here.
Yo, Skydiver Tanner, and America's the birthplace of conspiratards. I do believe at least some of it. I want to say that QAnon seemed to have blown up in the Americas and then went to other places. I could be wrong in my timeline, but I think that it kind of started over here with the whole Trump thingy.
No. The conspiracy nut bars didn't start with 4chan, QAnon, and that lot. We've had them in the UK for centuries.
Okay.
You know, the end is nigh types, and the Pope was the Antichrist way back in the 14th century. But because YouTube has democratized stupidity, and there are more people.
Bring up, conspiracy theories in themselves aren't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good for people to question.
Oh, absolutely.
What they hear on the news or whatever, or have their own opinions. But like you said, it's a separate thing from QAnon, things like that, or people that take it too far and don't use that interest or concern to find out actual facts.
Oh yeah, it's like it started really with JFK. All the people who know what happened to JFK are dead, and the files have been destroyed. So there's a fairly good chance we'll never ever know what really happened. You know, and that's good. There should be some mystery in the world.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go, well, we don't know about JFK, therefore 9/11 was a hoax, Area 51's real, you know, and so on and so on. It's like they can't seem to differentiate between this happened doesn't necessarily follow that this also happened.
Yeah. I thought you didn't know, Tusk? He is frozen along with he's frozen in some government facility along with the Bushes. Who else did I hear today that was frozen, and their robot android counterparts are out there? And so I think Obama, a couple other people supposedly.
Obama's still alive and was quite clearly functional. And
I know, but they supposedly
replaced by a robot.
Yeah, supposedly their Android version.
Here's the thing about that: the people that say that, like say Obama is in deep freeze and he's been replaced by a robot. Surely it would make more sense just to keep the robot in deep freeze or in, you know, standby for when Obama becomes unable to perform his duties. Why would you send the robot out because it's got a limited shelf life?
Well, remember that whole thing where people were really concerned about his hair going gray? And I guess that's common with a lot of U.S.
everybody that
presidents,
gets old ever.
maybe they were just like, man, he's tired. He needs a
Yeah,
really
it
long
was
nap.
the president for 8 years. Take a picture of yourself 8 years ago and compare it to today and see how much you've changed. Maybe not when you're in your 20s or 30s, but
I
once you
go to
get
the
over
grocery
50,
store and I need a nap.
Yeah. My ball hairs 8 years ago used to not be gray, and now they are. So yeah, totally. I mean,
Really?
well, I
It's weird because
I asked a
top hairs
question on
are
Sunday.
not that green.
I asked a
I'm
question
losing
on
hair.
Sunday and no one answered it. So I'm going to ask it again today. Right? Totally bringing the tone of this right down. Okay?
sweet.
Can anybody else twirl their pubic hair into little Salvador Dali moustache shapes, or is it just me?
Yeah, I can. Well, now
Okay,
that
there you go. Because once
now
you've
that
shaved it a couple of times, it grows in straight.
well, normally when I perform doing stage performance and I wear my frilly panties, I usually shave everything because you don't want to go on stage with a huge 70s bush, you know. So, but since we've been locked away, I haven't trimmed because I haven't needed to. So no, it's like an afro down there. I can totally like dreadlock it or whatever. I mean,
Wait, I thought it was just me. I'm going, is my pubic hair like gone really weird or something? Like,
it's not just you.
Is gravity
not.
one
Like,
and it's
I don't
straightened
shave
out?
as often as I normally would, but
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
happens
Maybe
when
it's
you're
like
in
a
a
growth thing. I don't know.
yeah, when you're in a long-term
After a certain
relationship.
point, I'm just like, okay, it's too much. But quick question for Slim: percentage-wise, how gray is the ball hair?
All the ball hair is gray. Everything else has got color, but all ball hair is gray. It's so weird.
That's so
Really?
weird because your head hair isn't gray.
I occasionally find maybe one grey pube a year or something, but you know,
I pulled out like 5 just right before we started the stream.
The only well, I've been losing my hair. It's a genetic thing.
your ball hair
related. The only like big gray hair I found I had, so usually I shave my eyebrows, but during quarantine, well, I kind of go back and forth right now, but during quarantine I let them grow out, and I had this big ass like thick hair, like pure white coming out of my eyebrow, and I was like, what the F?
Yeah, it's one of these weird things that you occasionally get like a rogue hair. Oh, hang on, that's Etty at the door. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. I get I think that's their doorbell or whatever. I get really long random gray hairs every once in a while in certain places that I gotta pluck out, and it's really weird that it's the gray hair that is the grows long and fast, and you're just one day like, why do I have this long hair poking out of my cheek? Or
it's just trying to embarrass you.
Yeah.
No, totally. Like, I mean, I wax my face on the regular, and it's kind of that in between, excuse me, female hair, where it's not like boobzilla, but it's enough, and I'm getting it down here, and I'm like, what the? Anyways, we got real off base.
But sorry, that was Etty just came back there from the tattoos. So everybody expect to get like bombarded by pictures of Etty's new tattoo in the next couple of days.
Yes, we were hoping we would get to see it. Ask her how she's doing after the tattoo.
She'll probably actually come into the chat or maybe even on Zoom when she's got set.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, cool.
She probably needs a minute to settle.
Yeah, of course.
Tanner, speaking of politics, today I'm wearing my, I don't know if you can see it, fuck Trump lipstick.
Shouldn't that be bright orange?
By Lip Slut. And they donate a portion of what you pay for the lipstick to whatever foundation you want. When I bought this, I chose to donate to teenage mental health. That means a lot to me.
Yes,
So,
awesome.
Just
What's it
shout
called?
outs, I felt like it.
What's it called again?
Lip Slut is the company. And then this color, I had to back order it. It's
Yes.
called Fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump. Definitely. So everybody say hello to Tanner.
Hello, Tanner.
Everyone. How are y'all doing?
We are doing wonderful today. I think Tusk and I were there during your stream, so I'm glad that you're working again and that things.
Yeah.
We want to see you fly more, or we want to see more drone stuff. So we're looking forward to seeing some of that, if that is available for you to do. And then you and I will, or our aunts will get it figured out. About doing the show, or if we need to not do a live show anymore and do a segmented thing or something, we'll figure it out. I would still love to have the aunts work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And something.
Tanner got his job back. Skydiving, is that what
wind tunnel flight instructor. So
that's correct. Yeah.
I don't have all my ratings for the skydiving part. When I became a tunnel instructor, I don't want to say I quit skydiving because I still skydive. I just didn't work as hard to getting toward my ratings, and I didn't jump at all last jump season. I would need like 240 more jumps before I'd become eligible to become a tandem instructor. And I could do like camera jumping, but I'd have to do a lot more skydives and be at the drop zone more frequently to become a camera jumper. So so currently it's just tunnel flying, body flight, whatever.
But that's still freaking awesome.
It's
I'm
always
jealous.
weird.
One of those tunnels.
It's always odd when I hear.
Super fun. My dad was really into skydiving when he was younger, and I used to really feel passionate about wanting to try it, but I don't know if this is a common thing. The older I get, the more scared I am of heights. Plus, my dad got in this weird accident, so nothing went terribly wrong, but
it's
he got drifted by like a big wind or something and got caught on a fence, and it's just being graphic to warn everybody. It like scalped him, and he was like, literally, I saw my hair in front of my face, like. So after that, I was like,
to that same blow.
Yeah. Right.
I'll to the wind tunnel.
I mean,
and that's coming from me.
I was 36 when I did my first jump. So,
cool.
And I'd agree, like, the fear is there and stuff like that. And I've always had a fear of height stuff. But that's kind of why I did it. And that's actually how a lot of skydivers get into it is fear of heights and just conquering it and falling in love with it. And there's a tandem instructor that I worked with for a while who he's 57 or 58 years old. So and I jump with a lot of people who are well into their 60s, 70s, retired people. That's kind of why I love the skydiving, is because you can have on one jump a 19-year-old and then someone who's 70 years old, and you're all jumping together to have a fun time. But yeah, most incidents you ever hear of with skydiving are licensed instructors, and typically they're jumping into conditions that they shouldn't be jumping in, or they're doing maneuvers they shouldn't be doing. Nothing to do with the actual free fall part or the canopy opening. It's pretty much under canopy doing something they shouldn't have been doing. That's almost where all incidents come from.
I always find it really odd when I'm talking to like a professional like yourself. Like I was military and I did most of my jumps there.
Right.
And Etty really wants to do it. Her dad and I are both sports divers, but all my licenses have run out, so I need to renew all of them. I've done about 50-something jumps, 54 or 55. Nice. And to anybody that doesn't jump, that seems like a huge amount.
Right.
But then you talk to a professional who's done 1,500, 2,000 jumps. It seems so tiny.
Yeah, it's like I tell people, I'm like, I only have 260 jumps, and they're like, haha, only have. And I'm like, there's a lady at a drop zone who's got over 20,000
Yeah.
skydives. Yeah, and I mean, it's common for tandem instructors to do 10 to 15 jumps a day during the peak of skydiving season. So you can easily accumulate, 500 plus jumps in one season.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We did our first jump on the Monday, the static jump. And then the next day we did 5 jumps in the space of 17 hours.
Yeah.
Utterly exhausting. So to do that all day, every day.
Like,
it is.
If you feel like something's remotely a bit off, I feel like that's one of the activities that you should listen to your gut like that. I mean,
yeah.
And Tusk, I like that you brought up the whole meditation thing, because that's similar to like what me and Slim do as far as sideshow. We don't do exactly the same things, but what we do is something similar. And you and I brought this up when we were talking about suspension, that meditation and working through it to make your mind stronger is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I've said to people who are afraid of heights, they don't want to do like a jump because they're afraid of heights. It's a different thing. It's not the same as being on like the top floor of like a skyscraper or going across a high bridge. Yeah. It's completely different. Yeah. I mean, I served with guys in the parachute regiment who were terrified of heights, but they could jump out of a plane, no problem at all.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a little bit different when you can't see the ground or there's
once you accept that you'll die just the same from 50 feet or 20,000.
Oh, sorry. For example, like I do things in sideshow that maybe not everyone does, and everyone assumes because I do sideshow that I'm a sword swallower, and that's the one thing I just know my body doesn't want to do. And that's kind of how I feel about heights. Like,
well, there's 2 things you can't train out of yourself. Like, one of them is vertigo.
About heights all the time.
If you're scared of heights,
I'm not supposed to do that.
No. If you're scared of heights, you're always scared of heights.
Right.
You can't train that out of yourself. You can't get over that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First, I want to say Sierra said doo-doo, so that was funny.
Yeah, I tried to laugh out.
But the next thing is, standing at the top of a tall building or bridge or ledge, I still freak out like no tomorrow. But when you're in an airplane at the door, you're up so high that it almost seems surreal. It doesn't seem real, and
that's exactly it. It's so far removed from your everyday experience.
Right. Where gravity and you know what I'm talking about, terminal velocity. Yeah, where my dad described this to me, where you actually feel like you're flying, because you could probably explain it better.
Right. Like, well, so a lot of people think with skydiving you're going to get that sinking feeling, I think is what you're kind of trying to get at, like the stomach sink feeling and whatnot. If you were to jump out of like a helicopter or a hot air balloon or off a cliff, you'll get that initially, but like in an airplane, you're moving forward. So when you leave, you're actually going forward with the airplane before you start going down. So I always describe it as it goes from a not windy day to a super windy day.
Yeah.
You don't get that sinking feeling or anything else like that. And once you get to terminal velocity, it does. It feels like you're flying and it's just windy out. It doesn't feel like you're dropping. No, nothing like that. And that's, I think, what I was most nervous about with skydiving was that drop sink feeling. And when it wasn't there, it made me more comfortable with it. Now, if I were to jump out of a helicopter or a hot air balloon, that part still makes me nervous. But now that I'm so used to my parachute system and trusting it, I don't think I'd be as nervous about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The first
So-
time, the first time I
makes-
jumped,
make more sense about what you were saying about the in between heights, because like if I'm on a balcony or something like that, you know, I don't know if there's a word for it. That thing people talk about where you have this really strong desire to jump off. That's not the same as jumping out of a plane or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people do have that self-destructive thing where you put them
Yeah.
on top of a bridge and they'll instinctively step towards the edge.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called. But I've heard about it.
Name for it?
Yeah, there is a name for it because it's a condition. There are certain people there are certain landmarks that continuously have people jumping off of, and the people, they talk to their family members, their significant others, or anybody, or they're standing next to the family and they just jump and they're like, we never thought they would ever jump.
They weren't suicidal or anything. They just have this urge to step out into the void.
Yeah, for some reason. So
like the people that go on top of tall antennas, or even those what are they called, the hoverboard things, that they're like on edges. Oh man, they're crazy.
Oh, like that shit. I've been
Yeah,
watching
you see those Russian guys that do
Instagram
that.
fails and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But here, people
where
in
they're like hanging off a cliff just for the Instagram picture.
Mm-hmm.
all the fails from that.
I've never been really afraid of heights, but you do get that feeling, you know, for guys especially, where your balls try and climb back up inside your body when you look over the edge and things. But what I was most afraid of, because I'd only ever seen it on movies, when you open your chute and you suddenly shoot back up in the air, I thought that's got to hurt. But then I realised it's because the cameraman was still falling. You don't shoot back up in the air. He's still going down at 9 meters per second squared.
Right.
9.82. So it looks like this really violent jerk as you open your chute and suddenly up you go. No, it's because the cameraman's at terminal velocity, falling at 9.82 meters per second squared. And I was really terrified that was going to like chop me in half or something.
Yeah. Let's say hello to Et.
Hello,
Et.
Hi.
You, baby.
It was good. It was 3 hours. It was an amount of time. But you know, I basically apparently I didn't move a muscle, and each time I apologized for twitching, I wasn't even moving, and we almost had an argument over it. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to move. And she was like, you didn't move, stop it.
I know all about that because sometimes I feel like I'm twitching sometimes when I'm getting modified, and I'll say something and they're like looking at me like I don't even notice what you're talking about. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, last time I got tattooed, one of the guys came and sat on me and they made me put my hands under my own buttocks because I talk a lot and I move my hands when I talk.
Yeah, totally.
They came and sat down on top of me so I couldn't squirm.
Yeah.
Speaking of buttocks, not tattoo related, but whenever I get like shots in my butt, so I have one side where I've like some nerve damage on that like butt/thigh. So if I get it in that side, I'll like involuntary kick.
Yeah.
Like it's not it's just I just can't help it.
The last time I got tattooed on my leg, the girl who did it, I kicked her in the boobs about 40 times. You know, she's got really big boobs, and I kept twitching and kicking her. And we tried not to make a thing of it. But after like 2 hours, I was like, look, I'm really sorry. She said, don't worry, it happens, you know. And then I did it again. Now, the girl who's tattooing me tomorrow knows this story, right? And she's tattooing me in the same place, but on the opposite leg. So I was saying, maybe if you have me lie down and you come at me from the side, there's less chance of me kicking you in.
I told her by the way, you have some strong competition apparently with
Who?
being well behaved while being tattooed. You've got competition in your way. I
I
think I'm a win. Yeah.
Honestly,
I behave
babe,
I
I
behave
think 3
terribly.
hours is the perfect amount of time. Like, you want to get some stuff done while you're there, like make it worth your time, but it's not like, it's that in between. Like,
One of my
you're not
tattoos
you're not
took
there all
6
day,
hours.
but you're like, all right, I feel like I got something accomplished while I was here.
Yeah. And I mean, I got a dead ankle and leg throughout the process because I was like, I will just sit here. I will stay. I
Good.
shall not
I mean,
pass.
Tanner, you've got some tattoos on your chest and stomach area, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like I've not
Well,
been brave
that's
enough to go there
tough.
yet.
yeah.
I
It's,
mean,
they
I
were
think I
both
might have
about
mentioned this
6 hours
before.
apiece, and
Oh,
yeah, the 3 hours, 3 hour mark. I agree with. Once it got to the 3 hour mark, it sucked after that.
I
And
was
Slim's over here like, whatever.
Yeah,
No,
see. Oh, sorry.
last time I got basically like the whole top of my foot around to the sides and my ankle. And in the same week I got Juvederm injections for the first time.
That's easy for you to say.
So like, I mean, they're fine now. I can go to work the same day, whatever.
Mhm.
But my foot was so swollen, I was like the freaking elephant man. And then my lips were all bruised up, so I was just like, I'm gonna stay home for a couple days.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends was doing his apprenticeship, and he was looking for people to practice on. So I was like, yeah, you can use me. And he did about 30 tattoos on me in the space of about 2 months. And he tattooed me about 4 days in a row. And if you've ever had tattoo fever, where your body tries to reject everything and you end up with like a really high temperature and you feel dizzy and sick and nauseous and your entire body swells up like a fucking pumpkin.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You're
thought
like,
you meant
oh
tattoo fever,
no.
like you want more tattoos. That's never
No,
happened.
tattoo fever's a real thing.
Well,
It's like your
it's
body
like when,
tries to reject everything that's just been put in it.
yeah, it's like when Enigma spent 3 months straight every day getting tattooed for a couple hours each. He was talking to me about like 2 weeks in or a weekend or something, he got that. And I experienced that because I went 4 days getting tattooed straight. It was only small tattoos, but I got a couple days together. And I start everything swelled as soon as the needle hit you. You just swelled up and started bleeding. I mean, your body was like, I don't want to do this anymore. That was really trippy.
I suppose it's like has to do with something with like your adrenaline has pumped out so much, and the chemicals trying to put so much out that your body's just
Yeah,
like, I can't do anymore. I'm
that's
just gonna shut
yeah,
down.
that's
And I
exactly
believe
what it is.
And I
You,
believe it's
you,
your immune system is so weak at that point where
yeah,
it's just like I can't fend off anything, so I'm just going to try to expel anything getting
yeah.
into me because I can't fight it.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
see, because like you get that endorphin release when your tattoo finishes, you get that final cold wipe, and you go, thank fuck for that. But then you go in the next day and you do it again. You go in the next day and do it again. Your body runs out of endorphin and it runs
Well,
out of adrenaline, so
and then
you
there's
just completely
people
crash because that doesn't
I
happen at any other
there's
time.
people that have
Right.
like reactions to uh that teal color or
Pigments, different
red or
pigments.
white
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm desperately allergic to red.
bodies. But yeah, that I mean anything you do where I mean just like okay, for example, touring or whatever, when you do a lot of sideshow shows in a row, nope. Like your body's just like nope after a while.
Yeah,
Or like,
the
I
fourth
do.
day of a
like,
convention is
or
not
like when I
fun.
did my
Yeah.
like the last day were
Yeah,
like
you've
nope.
got to get back up on stage and do it
Or
all
like
over again.
when I did my tub, like I literally like laid in a bed, just watching Mystery Theater 3000
Yeah, it's like the first time I went on tour with the band.
And not eating
know?
for 3 days.
Yeah.
Got all excited. You go, yeah, we're on tour with the band. This is going to be awesome. Come day 6, I had no idea what day it was. I hadn't slept for days, and I was like, how do bands do this for months at a time?
It's so crazy
mad.
to actually do that. It's so insane.
If
You
I
watch
was a
something like
comedian
Spinal
where all I
Tap.
had to do was like stand up there and be like, joke, 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 blah, blah, blah. That I can see. But yeah, performing or anything else.
Trying to be
like,
funny every night for 10 nights in a row.
God, it's
I
fucking
don't
hard.
fancy that.
It's hard. Really quick, let's let Ed, put in her 2 cents, and then let's get to this video because I want Tanner. I want Tanner before he has to leave to give us his input on this because I don't remember if we played this at Pips or on Cookie, but we should probably get back to the subject. So go ahead, Ed.
Oh, and just some absolutely 10 out of 10 would recommend about the tattoo artist that did my tattoo today was that she didn't dry rub me. She did not.
Thank goodness. Oh,
I was like, please don't. I've been a good girl. I've done everything. Please don't do that. And she was like, no. And then she sprayed me very gently, and then she just patted it off, and I was like, oh.
That's great. Before the one last thing I want to say before.
Sorry, Slim, real quick. I have to pee.
Yeah. Okay. So before I start the video, or maybe I'll talk just a couple seconds while Ciara is doing that. I have a tattoo artist where he only dry rubs. He rarely will put stuff down. He wraps the paper towel around his pinky and he tattoos, and then when he's done he takes the paper towel on his pinky, he rubs it.
Psycho.
I think between the people in the chat here, we've probably got about 500 tattoos between us. Right? And if I have never once been dry rubbed, and if anybody tries it, they'll find out why it's not a good idea.
Right.
But that I want the cool spray, I want the Vaseline, I want the cold sponge.
I know this shouldn't matter, but he's a huge gangster. He's this big ass gangster, so I kind of just let him do what he wants. I
don't care if he's my mother. There's no way he's drive up that tattoo.
I cheated once. I put a capsaicin patch on my chest for like 4 hours before I went in. So for the stars on my chest, I wore a capsaicin patch to kind of like numb the area
you just
first,
numb it completely,
and took it off right before I went in.
Wouldn't that hurt though?
No,
it did numb it, correct?
Yeah, it's just gotta. It's like no different than like an icy hot patch, but it's not icy hot. It's just capsaicin, so it numbs the skin.
It numbs it.
I wasn't sure how much the sternum would hurt, so I just decided to throw that on.
Don't take any of that.
I cheated on that one.
When I got my left hand done,
I had my game with the lady and all the mathematical equations.
I got my left hand done, I had my gran, who was a nurse, steal me contact anesthetic from the hospital, and I rubbed it all over my hand before I went in, and it went completely numb, and I didn't feel a thing. It was great.
Animals.
I shouldn't admit this, and I didn't admit this on a stream, but I've had a couple of my artists that we were doing very sensitive spots, and they did use a cream that we're technically not supposed to use in Colorado that's numbing. So there's a couple times I actually had to numb places so I could get through them, but they're technically not legal here. But I didn't say that out loud or anything.
No.
So
watching. I never heard anything.
Did you guys hear something?
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep watching this. So Skydiver, I don't know if and Ed, I don't know if you were there when we were talking about this before, but they're anti-vaxxers who are scared about the vaccine leaking protein out of vaccinated people into non and causing, well, let's just watch.
What?
Counter this type of disinformation. The conspiracy, which comes in several shapes and sizes, more or less says the vaccinated will shed certain proteins onto the unvaccinated, who will then suffer adverse effects. The main worry is the shedding will cause irregular menstruation, infertility, and miscarriages. Now, none of that is true, but apparently some of these anti-vaxxers, who
Usually
again
I shoot a
tend to be
protein, but I mean
anti-maskers
shedding.
as well, are now considering wearing masks in order to protect.
And just for 5 milliseconds, they think that
a mask on my crotch.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay,
Get to shoot
maybe.
proteins at people. That's
Okay,
insane.
the clincher for me was that she was trying so hard not to laugh.
But where did they come up with a regular menstruation?
Okay, so
That's new to me. I don't know.
I have a theory. The chemical spray the police are using in the Americas, they're coming out with new studies that are causing miscarriages and are causing women that got sprayed during the riots to almost every woman that got sprayed in these riots. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say riots, protests, because not all of them were that. Most of them were very peaceful, except for a handful of things. But anybody who was at most of these BLM protests that got sprayed or was around it, their menstrual cycle changed. A couple of other things have seemed to happen through this. So what they're doing is they're going, oh, well, we can't have it the right be the problem. It's the left. And so now they're trying to shift it and say, oh, you're getting these things because you're vaccinated. Oh, because you're...
But if you go to a series of protests where you get baton charged and, pepper sprayed, that's very stressful. And that has an effect on your menstrual cycle. It's got nothing to do
That's
with
exactly what I was going to say. Like, stress, your pH.
And they're still doing
change in life on any level.
And so
will affect most women's cycles.
Etty and I have been on dozens of protests throughout the years, usually like anti-racist, anti-fascist stuff. Right, but this is a well-known phenomenon. Women who are political activists have higher stress levels and less regular menstrual cycles.
Yeah,
that's been known for decades.
Yeah, and before we start the video again, I just want to say this really quick. They're still doing studies on the chemical spray they use in the Americas, so I'm not claiming that is exactly what's happening. There's still studies going on, so. If we do ever get a conclusion or I find that out, we may share that on the program and give that information. But I'm not going to claim that's the only reason that this is happening to people.
No, thank you for bringing that up, Tusk. It is common for like high stress situations and things like that to disrupt women's cycles. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Let's watch a little bit more because this is 7 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but they do talk about.
Girl's really hot.
Yeah, she is. I like Anna a lot. And there are two more points that she's going to talk about that I want to get to before we get to the next parts of what we're speaking about today, and that's actually vaccine access. And I want to get to talking about what countries aren't getting it available to people and why, and maybe what is happening in everybody's country, which technically that would be two for everybody who's on here right now. But anybody in the panel, let us know if you have access to the vaccine, what phase, where you're from, what phase you're in, and when you think you may be able to get it. Because that's why we're doing this, is to get.
I'm going to mute myself because I know I'm just going to bust out laughing again.
Yeah, and we're going to try to get through a little. The only good thing about this is that TYT is not going to claim us because we have not showed enough of their video in a row yet, too. Go ahead, Ed.
No, I was just I was like agreeing with Tusk about not laughing. With the mouth full of yogurt, so it just kind of went.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, you always make it so cute. Everything you say. Anyway, let's
Yours
just.
is messing up my menstrual cycle.
But
Okay, let's.
it is true.
No,
It
I'm
is.
kidding.
Yeah.
Down
Let's-
protesting, running
Yeah.
away from men on horses, irregulating my periods.
Yeah. Okay, so let's watch a little bit more.
Protect themselves from shedding proteins from people who have been vaccinated.
You know, there's that song about the day the music died. This is the day irony died.
That's amazing.
And I love it though. I'm here for it. So let me get this right. The anti-maskers are going to put on masks and socially distance from the rest of us.
That's right.
First of all, there's no way I can get enough of that irony. Okay. Second of all, I'm here for it. I love it. So
You know what?
the craziest people in society are going.
This is so. Do you know what? The fact that they're wearing masks and staying the fuck away from me, I'm down with.
I'm so.
You know, but the
I'm so
idea that they're going to catch the virus from the vaccinated, but not. But they don't believe the virus is real, so how the fuck are they going to catch it from me?
Well, because they think it's the vaccine. They think there's something in the vaccine that you're going to shut off and that's going to affect them. So they don't necessarily believe in the virus still. They it's something in the
But
vaccine
it's
is going to
inside me. It's like unless I inseminate them.
Well, that's why I said I'm not going to shed any proteins on them. If anything, I'm going to shoot proteins onto them.
You know,
And certainly not in them.
Right?
Fucking tap
And
dancing
even
Christ.
people that
This
are
is-
anti-vaxxers, there's this
Right.
whole thing of wearing the mask still or not. And I feel like, to be honest, okay, I'm gonna have I'm being a woman moment. As a woman, I really enjoy that my face can't be seen sometimes, and like men don't tell me to smile. They can't tell if I'm smiling or not, even if I do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just that I'll probably say it wrong. Anonymity. Yeah.
Anonymity. Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like from a woman's perspective, as much as I miss wearing lipstick on the reg, it kind of makes me feel safer on a lot of levels.
You have a degree of safety.
And now that everyone's, it's kind of ambiguous, like who's fully vaccinated and who isn't. I'm gonna keep wearing my mask just out of respect.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said too. I was like, I said in one of my videos, I'm like, do you enjoy being sick? I mean, do you want to catch the flu every year? Is that something you find exciting and look forward to? If not, then what's the problem with wearing a mask? If you don't want to catch the flu or the cold because you don't like being at home with a fever for 4 days, then just put on a damn mask. It's not that big a deal.
It's these people that say, oh, it's just the flu. Have you ever had the flu? It's shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
Not last year, but year before, I was sick from was it a week before Halloween, honey?
Well, Etty and I have both.
Right the way
Etty
through
and I have
New
both
Year.
had corona. We have both had the virus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It caused me brain damage, and I've lost most of my sense of smell. Etty was bedded down for about a week. And if someone had said to me, put a mask on and you can avoid all that, I'd have put 3 masks on. You'd have a mask on each hand. I didn't. If all it took was to just put a 2 millimeters of cloth on my face, to avoid all this shit. But I just love the idea that now the only people wearing masks are anti-vaxxers. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's just the best thing I've heard all day.
Yeah. The other thing I said I found the irony in is all these people who are coming out as being anti-vaxxers are all benefiting off of getting the vaccine when they were children.
Yeah.
Why don't you have polio? Why don't you have all the MMR shots and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because you got vaccinated as a kid.
I've
come on now.
Out of them, go okay then, and then suck it out of them like a reverse vaccination, and take away the vaccinations they had previously, and go suck it then, deal with that.
I know we're going to come on to this later on, and Slim's got this awesome little map, which I'm really looking forward to seeing working. I've been in countries where the church has a hold and people don't get vaccinated for superstitious reasons or economic reasons, and I've seen the damage a virus unchecked can do.
Yeah, they get polio, and then
they get polio,
it's
and all
the
kinds
same
of
thing
shit.
as like,
But I will say
when
though, there are people
like super religious people are like, if I pray enough, God will heal me.
Well, there was someone,
and that's nothing to say against religious people, but that's a different.
Yeah,
there
was a checkout girl at our local superstore at the beginning of this, maybe 2 or 3 months into it, who wouldn't wear a mask because she said Jesus will protect her, and I went fucking nuts. So he's not done a fucking good job so far, has he? What the fuck? This was when there was like 1,000 people a day dying.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing about that.
I just wear a mask made of
There's
Jesus.
people I've come in contact with over the last year or so through necessity, where I have absolutely no idea what they look like.
Yeah, right.
And it's like Sarah was saying, you get a degree of safety behind that mask.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could compare it to like, I watched this thing on Muslim women from a lot of different areas, and I saw this. I don't know if it was a TikTok or whatever. This one lady was answering questions like, why I choose to cover my face, how do I get my passport photo taken, stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool that, there's women that they have to do that because someone made them. But I really respect the women that choose to do that because they want to. And I totally understand, again, as a woman, I know we got real off the rails here, but for example, I had a bartending job where I was told to wear a cocktail dress or whatever. And one day I knew that my boss really liked floral print. So I happened to have a floral print tie. So I did a button-up shirt with a tie. And at the time, I was the only girl that worked there. It was kind of a newer restaurant. And everyone treated me so much more different and more respectfully. So I understand there is something to women shouldn't have to do this if they don't feel like. I struggle with this too. Sometimes I want to wear my church dress, and sometimes I want to wear my PVC nurse outfit.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to wear a tie.
Yes. Okay, let's
let's
differently. No
see how far we can get into this before I burst into hysterics.
Yeah.
We're already in an hour and we have not even got through our first video. So let's try to get through at least this, and then of course, no worries. You know what? If it's the whole stream is just us shooting the shit, that totally works as well. So it really doesn't matter. But let's try to. I would like to at least show a little bit more of this funny conspiracy, because I think we're all going to bust a gut once we hear a little bit more, because there's still more to this.
Going to stay further away from me? Awesome. Yeah, and you didn't get vaccinated, and so now you're going to put on a mask? Perfect. Perfect. Who's the genius who came up with this conspiracy?
This is actually great. No, it's actually great because obviously you're thinking about it in the context of protecting yourself, and I did initially as well. But you're already fully vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
I'm almost fully vaccinated. And so I'm good. I don't care what anyone does. I'm good, my family's good, the people around me are good. But I also want people who buy into these crazy lunatic conspiracy theories to be safe as well. And by default, they actually are protecting themselves, right, unwittingly from the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's
Win-win.
and then you know what they'll do is they'll turn around and be like, "See, I didn't get sick." That's
Right. He's
so-
right with the last point.
They are protecting themselves, and that's good. But more importantly, they're protecting me from them.
That's what they don't understand. They think they're protecting themselves from us. No, homie or homegirl, you're protecting us from you.
See, I wear my mask. I have a lot of sensory issues, so wearing the mask can bring me into panic attacks and makes me feel absolutely horrendous, which I understand a lot of people do feel, and I understand because that's how I feel. But I do wear my mask despite like it feeling like I'm having bugs crawling under my skin, so that I look after other people that I care and love about and not get them sick. And too.
Yeah. Well, and good for you, Paul, because the fact that you can do that, like, so I was speaking with one of my younger brothers. He has different views than me, and actually, when he called me the day I got my first shot, and he didn't make fun of me or anything, and I was like, because he's very like that mindset. But he has similar issues, but I don't worry that much because he lives on a ranch, he lives and works on a ranch, and he lives in a trailer, so he doesn't really come into contact with many people. I mean, if that weren't the case, I would definitely be like, dude, you have to be responsible, and
yeah.
And he knows, like, if he goes to the store or whatever, definitely put a mask on, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. Like, like when I see Craig's mom, or like I'm in a public place, even if this was a week from now and I had my second shot, I would still do it just kind of out of respect, because at this point, I don't know if it's different for you guys, but you don't really know who's fully vaccinated or not. And I wouldn't put someone that's like, for example, Craig's mom, already immunocompromised due to different reasons in jeopardy, because of that, because I don't feel like wearing a mask.
No.
Yeah.
I agree with I didn't get to read who it was, and that was the last comment. I mean, I really relate to it.
Doctor.
Thanks, Doctor. I related a lot to that because the other day we went shopping because I've got a swimsuit to learn how to swim. And I just about keeled over in the shop because of a mix between anxiety and the claustrophobia and all of that. But I'd much rather wear it and show that I care for other people, but I also respect myself too.
Right.
But
Same.
like,
I had a similar situation the last time I got my hair done, which I need to do it again. I doubled up because the hair shop I normally go to is super small. So normally they only let one person at a time, but they kind of eased up. So I doubled up on my mask, and between that and the fumes from like bleaching and everything, it made me feel a little faint, and I had to go home. And it was very embarrassing, but I was glad. Like, I've been going to my girl for a long time, so I was glad that I felt comfortable being like, I doubled up my mask. Clearly, I was careful. Blah blah blah.
I would just like to point out that not very long ago, Etty and I went diving in the Atlantic Ocean. You can swim perfectly well. You don't have to take swimming lessons.
I doggy paddle. And I mermaid, and that's all I can do.
Girl, don't even worry.
One thing I'll say about these people. Yeah, honestly, one thing I find funny is like I feel like some of these people who are against masks think that people who are wearing masks absolutely love wearing them or something. Like
No.
I don't like wearing my mask. I don't want to wear it when I'm out in public. I'd prefer not to. But like you guys were saying, you know, I respect myself and I respect other people enough to do it. You know, I don't want to have to try to remember to grab it every time I go in someplace or something like that. So it's funny that they come off as if we absolutely love doing this and it's something that we wish we could have been doing all our life. And I'm like, no, we're doing it because it's humane.
I totally agree. Like,
It's
some
so
days you
strange
don't feel
now.
like
that
it, or
It's so strange that it's become habit now. Like leave the house, keys, phone, wallet, mask.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's become so normalized. I mean, I hate wearing it. I actually do have a medical exemption,
Yeah.
but I wear it anyway because I don't want to kill the people around me unless they give me good reason.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like they wear white, you know, like they wear white shoes or something like that. You know, but the idea that it's become, where are we now? May, so that's a year and 3 months for us in the UK. We've been under these strict lockdown rules. And it's the idea that we chose to do this, that we enjoy it. Wearing a mask for every day for a year and a half almost. Like, no, I fucking hate it.
yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
not
let's
free. Apart from it, I had to
continue the
pay for
video
these
for a
masks.
bit longer.
Yeah.
Even though it's so hard to get through it without laughing.
No, it's
And I'll use
redonkulous.
this opportunity to refill my wine. How about that?
Yes, please. For really quick, let's say hello to the new people in chat. So LB, let's say hello to Docta, even though we kind of already been talking with him. And then Snogna Metal. I probably butchered the crap out of that, but hello all of you that just joined in. Welcome. We're talking about silly stuff. Let's watch a little bit more. But before I do that, one last thing I want to add in is I didn't spend this whole time. Hold on. I didn't spend this whole time modding my whole face and getting all these piercings to hide behind a mask. So I don't love the whole mask bull crap, but we do it because we love ourselves and other people. And that's why. It's not because we wanted to wear the mask.
Thank you. Yeah, I still get lip injections and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Do facials and exfoliate, and
so we want to show our faces, but we care about other people's health. So while you're doing that, Sierra, we're gonna go ahead and
get you a girl that can do both.
Exactly, honey. We're gonna watch a little bit more of this. It's just a little bit more. They talk about one more segment that QAnon is speaking about, and then we will move on.
That's because you got to put on a mask to avoid the protein shedding from the vaccination people. And that's why I didn't have a mask in the first place, but have a mask now. And that's why I didn't get sick. You're like, bravo.
It's
Nailed
okay.
it.
You got it, big guy. You got it.
You got it, dog. Stay the course. Okay? Now, the second part, though, is the poor fact checkers had to bother doing a fact check.
They did.
Really, like, oh yeah, I'm shedding proteins off my vaccinated body, and they're gonna get onto you, and they're concerned about the fertility part of this. So yes, they're talking about women, and of course you always tie it to like some sort of miscarriage, abortion kind of thing, like, oh no, the babies are coming, always coming for the babies, right? You gotta throw that in there. But you know the guys, so you know what they're worried about. Fertility, what if it affects my Johnson? Oh my God. Oh, no, I gotta put on a mask.
Yeah, they're really worried about
the mask, okay? So that's the way to get to any conservative guy. Oh, it's going to affect your Johnson. Oh, do it right away. What do you need me to do? That's what sends a panic in them.
Why
Right?
didn't the Biden administration just put that out? Like, just put it out. Yeah, like.
Totally. And guys, I bothered to read the fact check, but really, I mean, if there's a theory out that, well, look, now they're worried about the vaccinated people, the cats will be fired out of their anus. And then they will enter the anus of the non-vaccinated people. We got to do a fact check. Is that possible? I don't know. Let's find. No, there's no reported cases of cats flying out of anuses in either direction.
They will do that fact check. They will. But okay, so we've had fun with this story, but throughout this pandemic, I think one thing has been very clear.
I believe they go over
and
one more
that's
thing
the
I
fact
wanted to
that
show.
there's a significant portion of the country that has no faith and no trust in American institutions. They don't trust the media. They don't trust the CDC. They don't trust the federal government. And that's a terrifying place to be when you're dealing with a highly contagious virus and a global pandemic. And while on one hand, it's, I guess, fun to kind of poke fun at the very people who believe these conspiracy theories, the real question is, shouldn't the blame be placed on the people who have been running these institutions and haven't actually served the best interests of Americans, which is why so many Americans don't trust them?
At first, I thought you were going to finish the sentence with.
Right, Anna does raise a very good point there.
Yeah.
Trust in American politics is at an all-time low.
That's what I was going to jump into, is if we would have had a leader who actually stepped up right away in the beginning to be like, hey, you guys, this is kind of a serious thing. Let's do it. And if we had a leader who led by example, we could be in a whole different place than where we are right now.
Yeah. Really quick, I just want to say,
taking the idea of personal liberty to ridiculous extremes, where it's you above everybody else.
Yeah, and the thing I want to bring up real quick is Trump sat there on a live feed and said, I don't think I'm going to wear the mask in the White House because it doesn't show manliness. The world leaders won't think I'm manly if I wear a mask. And it's like,
here's the thing, right? Did you know JFK didn't wear a hat, and hat sales in America dropped 80% within about a week?
Yeah.
Everybody before JFK wore a hat, but because he didn't, that was that. The hat industry in America collapsed because Trump didn't wear a mask.
Yeah,
we've got about 50% of Americans who believe that it's a hoax.
Yeah.
Now 50% of 130 million.
That being said, and I know homemade masks are, at the time, they advised that they were a little less effective, but I think it had like a counter effect where, and this might just be between like the people Slim and I know, because we're friends with artists and crafters and all that. It seemed like more people were supporting people that were making it in their homes, or seamstresses that turned to that out of need. So so our household bought a bunch of medical grade ones right when this started, just cause. So, and that's why I was doubling up. But my outer ones, I got the one with my name on it, and most of the other ones I wear are from crafter friends of ours. So maybe it just put money where it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, we just needed a president that was going to tell us to do the right thing. And then also he got his vaccination behind closed doors and did not do it public, which he should have done public.
And I know
about all of that.
Your point, he should have led by example.
Well, Trump's whole thing is being manly. Being the alpha male.
Because he's not.
So, he's not, No alpha male tries to prove he's alpha. There's no such thing as an alpha male anyway. It's based on faulty.
The second a guy
data.
is like, I'm so tough and manly, you're like,
that's when he asks. That's when he asks you to peg him behind closed doors.
Yeah, what makes a man?
To me, if you have to spout out that you're manly and masculine and tough and whatnot, the second you spout that out, I immediately go yeah, you're not.
Yeah, get him. Yeah.
No,
Perfect example. People saying, Tanner's gay. He's not a real man. Are you going to jump out of an airplane? Is that macho? Is that manly?
Right.
It's such bullshit.
That's more balls than I have.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with.
There's no judging this.
You can't say you're a man because you've got big balls. What the fuck's that? It's an accident of birth.
I know ladies who have bigger balls than me, so I'm not.
The whole Trump thing is he was trying to impress Putin.
And he's
and
a fucking
the
weirdo.
Chinese leader, he wasn't interested in doing what was the right thing because he knew. They said, what was that senator? I can't remember his name now. Oh, he's from Texas.
Ted Cruz.
No, it wasn't Cruz. He's a fucking weasel.
Texas Ranger?
No, when he came out and he'd actually written a letter to Trump at the very beginning saying, this is dangerous. This is more dangerous than anything we've encountered before. And then came out on the Senate floor and said, oh, Trump didn't know this was so dangerous, when he himself had written a letter to him 2 weeks previous, telling him how dangerous it was, banking on the fact that Republicans do not fact check.
They were saying, not George W., but the first Bush, he was like rude to someone or something small, and it was like this huge scandal. And well, basically their point was that less or about 10 years ago that this small infraction was a huge scandal, yet Trump should have been canceled the minute he did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Obama wears a tan suit and people were up in arms on that. Yeah.
He used fresh mustard on his hot dog and wore a tan suit.
No, I'm
what
kidding.
a scandal.
Yeah.
The worst.
Trump's a serial sex offender, but you know what? So what? Because all it was about was getting Roe versus Wade overturned. They don't care what else he done as long as they could get Roe versus Wade overturned. And if he got his second term, that would have happened.
Yeah. So really quick, let's watch something about the percentage of Americans that do not believe in the vaccine and get a little information on that. And then we'll talk about the world a little bit more. And I have a couple things. I have a really cool map that's a 3D world because we live on a globe. And it will tell us in different places what the percentage of vaccines are out and stuff. So we'll get to that in a second.
I
But
need to see that.
Sorry.
So excited.
Super quick, Slim. Did you get your tattoos retouched?
I have new lights. I got new lights.
Okay, because your skin's looking dope.
Well, thank you. I just bought new lighting and all that fun stuff, and this is a new a camera too. So the old camera's up there, the new camera's. So I just bought new equipment. So thank you. I'm glad that I look better because
you look less like a waxwork.
You're such a dick.
Okay,
Sorry,
well,
Pinocchio.
Yeah, thank you. Damn it. Let's go ahead and start watching this and listen to somebody who's smarter than me talk about why some of these people are not interested in getting vaccines.
Well, that could be literally anybody.
Yeah, anybody smarter than me. That's
Let's start today talking a little bit about vaccines. At this relatively later stage in the pandemic for the United States, there's much still to be done globally, but at this stage in the US, where we could be moving even more quickly in crushing the virus, 41% of Republicans still refuse to get themselves vaccinated. And sadly, this number is down only 2 percentage points from last month. You might remember last month we had a new poll which said 43% of Republicans are refusing the COVID vaccine. That has declined, but only 2 percentage points to 41. This is a new PBS NPR Marist poll, which finds that only 4% of Democrats say, I don't want the vaccine. And yet 41% of Republicans say they do not plan to get vaccinated. And this truly could lead to more eventual deaths for Republicans than for Democrats, which would, at least to some degree, shift the electoral balance. What I mean by
unfortunately,
that is, if mostly Republicans are dying once we get to the point at which everyone who wants a vaccine has...
It's sad that something like this has even become political.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. Why is this even political?
I just
Dear
don't
Lord.
get. I mean, the thing about it is, right? A lot of the people say that, Okay. A lot of people take it, say
Deep
it's
breaths.
because they say it's because if God will save them, then why did he put it there in the first place?
Yeah.
For a start. Second, why? What happened to caring for your fellow man?
Yeah, that's
So
what I was
if
saying before. Like, even if you don't have 100% faith in the vaccine, just it's like the whole mask thing. Like, look out for those around you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched John Oliver, but he did a whole thing on that.
Yeah.
And how alarming it was that less and less people are getting it. And for those of you that haven't seen it, he showed a clip of this guy. I probably should have downloaded it, but sorry, I didn't. Afterthought. But so it's this clip of a guy being interviewed that he's coming out of the hospital, and was it his mom? Yeah. His mom is dying of COVID, and he was like clearly upset, and the interviewer was like, "Oh, well, have you been vaccinated, or do you plan to be vaccinated?" And he's like, "No." Like, and he's literally like holding a family portrait, like coming out of the hospital with tears in his eyes after visiting his mom who has COVID.
oh,
I don't even understand.
I was at a funeral a few years ago of someone who had died of lung cancer, and there was people at the wake outside smoking.
Yep.
So are you? One of them was her daughter. So you've just buried your mum, who died of lung cancer, and you're having a cigarette at the wake. Have you no sense of irony at all? You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
that's
the problem is with these polls now. I do watch David Oliver, David Packman, Fair and Balanced,
yeah.
and the Young Turks. And I'm not a big fan of Cenk, but I do like the setup of the show. And
Yeah.
they've been the one thing I will criticise them for when they're doing these polls of Republicans. They're not talking to city Republicans. They're talking to rural trailer
Yeah.
park Republicans
Yeah.
who have
Yeah.
very limited access to information.
It can
And
be a little one-sided for
economically,
sure.
they're not high flyers, shall we say. So
Yeah.
all they've got is the trailer with the TV, and they've got Fox News on 24/7.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You have to instead of mocking these people, you really have
I'm
to
glad
reach
that,
out to them.
at least our household will flip Fox News on just to like see what the other side is saying. But I do have a opinion about what you mentioned about someone dying of lung cancer and then having a cigarette. I mean, that may be some strange grief irony, which is common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, if you're addicted to nicotine, you're addicted to nicotine, and
Yeah,
that's all
or
there is
maybe
to
it
it.
like triggered somebody
You know.
that you never know.
Yeah, but the idea that
It is.
I find it bizarre.
I do agree. It is disrespectful.
I find it bizarre that somebody who has watched a parent die of the virus came out and then refused to get the vaccine for some idiotic political stance. It
Yeah.
breaks my heart.
No,
But this is the
totally.
problem
I
with
mean,
America. You've taken personal freedom to such an extreme that it becomes a almost pathological selfishness.
no, totally. Earlier, Slim and I were speaking about a mutual friend that doesn't have any reason to not get vaccinated, and someone that's a parent, and I don't think that's cool.
Yeah. Really quick, I really like this. They choose to watch well, it would be
I know it's trying to read it.
Fox News or
Oh my god.
Faux News, right? Faux. And Spewmax.
Newsmax should be
It's so bad.
deplatformed
Oh my
and
god,
taken off the air immediately.
It needs to be.
I'm talking about porn, to be honest.
Spewsmax.com is a great website, honey.
No, that one's Spooge Max.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
off in a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a few years ago, I had a friend,
was like-
American
Or
Tracy, I
spew,
called her.
like one of those porn sites where people puke, or I don't know.
No.
Oh, no, that was okay.
That's where
Okay,
my
Tess.
mind went, apparently.
A few years ago, I had a friend, Tracy, who had come over to Scotland to get her PhD, and she was American, Republican, fly the flag, the whole 9 yards, which is a phrase she used all the time, which really fucking annoyed me. But she was very much, mom, the flag, and apple pie. That was her. And she'd come over here, and she was online watching the news online. And I said, listen, just do me a thing, just do me a favour. Don't watch Fox News. Don't drink any caffeine, don't drink any alcohol, don't smoke a cigarette, any of that for a week. Right? Just do it. And see, right? So she didn't. She went, okay, then she took the challenge. And then after a week, I said, okay, watch it, put on Fox News. And she was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. There's a flag flying everywhere. There's a national anthem playing in the background. What they're saying is clearly lies.
Yeah.
And she was like, but because she was so immersed in that, she'd never realised how deeply immersed in it she was. But once she was able to take a step back from it and look at it from like a foreigner's point of view, the way we look at Fox News, she was like, oh my God, they made me talk like an idiot.
No.
I think that's really cool that you did that. I mean, like no matter what worked out, honestly, you were doing her a favor by.
Oh, she didn't appreciate it
She
at
didn't?
all. No.
Well, I thought
Of course
Because she had
not.
to go. She had to go back home. She had to
think
go back to Philadelphia.
I think it was in the midst of quarantine or somewhere around that time, and I had a few drinks. I was feeling angry, and I posted this thing. I'm not like usually confrontational or anything, especially towards my family. But I did post this thing on Facebook that I was upset that my parents had voted for Trump, knowing that so I do have like other brothers that are half brothers, but me and my full brother, we've both been through some shit. We're both queer, and basically I just did this little like, I can't believe my parents voted for Trump knowing he's a sexist and a homophobe and a racist. And they got really upset with me. And we made up, but it was still, I felt like a similar way at the time. Like, you're so immersed. Like, so during this time, they've been retired, and they live out on the prairie, outside of town, in their little dream house. They don't really interact with anybody for the most part, and I just feel like, damn, you guys, like, you got so caught up in your own effing world that you voted for somebody that feels like that. Not cool, bro. And on with the show.
Yeah, so the thing that Sierra was speaking about, I think I found. So let's watch at least a segment of this gentleman speaking, and then we'll get to. We don't actually need to go back to the thing we were watching before because he kind of already went over it, and so we'll just move to the next subject after this. I really want to show you the globe thingy that I found, the globe map.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Before he went in to visit his 77-year-old mother, Kia, who is on a ventilator right now in the ICU due to COVID.
Had she been vaccinated? She was not vaccinated. I think she was being hesitant, just wanting to see how things played out.
Have you been vaccinated?
What?
I have not.
What would it take for you to get vaccinated?
I'd want to make sure that it's safe.
Wow.
Oh God. Okay. I we don't even need to watch any more of the video because we are
Safer than dying. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Well, and the
If
fact
someone
that it's
said to
still
me-
like, I don't know.
If someone come up and say to me tomorrow, we can immunize you against this fucking virus, no question for the rest of your life, but it's going to cost you your left foot. Well, we'll take the damn thing. You know, this guy's mother is about to die. He's like, oh, I want to make sure it's safe. What's safer than being on a ventilator and gasping for breath?
Yeah.
You know, dying in a room with strangers, for fuck's sake.
I don't think we're going to have enough time to show the videos of the research that I found, but they spent 10 years researching this on this certain virus. So this is the 19th version of this virus. This is nothing new, honey. So for 10 years, they've been trying to solve this problem. The only reason why we have the vaccine now is because we had to fucking come up with it. They were already doing this RNA shit, and they were already working on it. It just got pushed to the forefront because the world, right?
Well, and the anti-vaxxers have almost the same argument, but opposite. Like, oh, there's been 19 versions of this, so they should have it figured out by now.
Well, it's more like the first version is very, very weak, and most likely I'm just gonna like say what I believe that the studies have come to. It probably came from bats that may have spread to another species and then to us or somewhere, and
Or monkey poop.
Well, from my understanding is the SARS strain, like say CoV-2 versus COVID-19, they're completely different viruses. It's just that there's things similar about them, so that's why they put them under SARS. So it is kind of like it's different versions, but at the same time they're completely different. You know, like no different than saying a jaguar and a lion are in the same family, but they're completely different from one another. And that's kind of how this is. And so that's the other thing. It's like, yeah, there's been other versions or other things similar to it, but it's a whole different animal. It's a whole different beast, you know?
And Titan Captain.
That
is,
I don't believe that's correct. No, but I don't believe that's correct. I think we're at the 19th version of it. I don't think it was discovered.
No, sorry, Slim. This is what I was about to say. Trump said this. Oh, it's COVID-19, which means they had 18 previous versions. No, it was first
discovered in
2019. That's why it's called 2019. It's not because it's in 19.
Right.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they based it off the year that it was "quote unquote" discovered.
But it's still not the first version of it.
Oh no, the flu are both SARS virus. It's not a new thing. The coronavirus is not a new thing.
I know it's been around
for coronavirus.
Yes. To the best of my knowledge, for 10 years they've been studying this and trying to do something with it. But it became so toxic, or it became this new version that took out how many people in the world, whatever. Let's get to showing the. And I'm glad everybody brought that up. I thought it was the 19th version, but you're correct.
There are literally thousands of coronaviruses. This is not the 19th.
Okay. Yeah. And so I'm glad we cleared that up for sure.
I just need to ask Slim what finishing powder he uses.
Ask me which finishing powder I use or what you use, because you look amazing, honey.
I kind of overdid it on the highlighter today.
I just use cocaine.
Your skin's looking so good. Why is that funny?
No, Tusk said that he used cocaine and that's what he uses.
Yeah,
That's what made me laugh.
that definitely
Well,
doesn't
I
smooth
wish I
out your
had the
skin,
kind of
honey.
money that
No,
you
but it's great for finishing.
Yeah, for finishing, it's great for.
Is it
Yes.
though?
No, it's actually not. It's actually really bad for finishing.
It's terrible. I shouldn't have said that. Kids,
Have you
don't use
put cocaine on your face?
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a guy actually, and I kind of know him. He injected coke into his cock, thinking it would give him a
You
great
guys-
sniffy. They had to get it amputated eventually.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
what
God.
did you look up the whole thing? What happened to it? It went necrosis,
Oh,
so
Yeah.
it turned black, and it like the skin fell off, and then he had to get it
Was it
amputated.
Yeah, the hard on for
Or
like
are
3
you talking
weeks.
about the guy from Vice that he injected silicone?
No,
No,
this
one
is
of
the
them-
cocaine.
No, one of my friends actually injected cocaine into his dick, thinking it would be like Uber Viagra. But what happened
And
was he blew all the valves in his cock, had a
Yeah.
hard on for 3 weeks, and they had to cut it
Yeah,
off.
You guys are completely missing it. Tuss said cocaine on his face. What he's not telling you is it's a guy whose first name is Co and his last name is Kane.
That's
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
So he's
you.
got
Honey,
cocaine
why
on
am
his
I
face.
not in on that?
That's how I finish. I get my friend Co to come and teabag me
How did it come to this?
while I masturbate.
Come is
feebly.
the correct word to use.
Exactly. If we don't devolve our stream into some weird crazy thing, then we didn't do our stream
Yeah.
correct. So that's exactly what happens every time.
You're welcome.
It's
This
usually
is
my
pretty
fault.
much where
Sorry.
it ends up every week.
So if some of you haven't figured out yet, we try to get this stream shut down as much as we can. I mean, that's pretty much what my goal on my channel is
Basically,
to see
we're
if we
trying
can.
very, very
I
hard
have
to
tried
not
so
monetize.
many fucking times
But if you want to
to
give
get
us
this
money,
channel
cool.
shut down.
Yeah,
This
you
and
should totally.
Flash. I honestly don't know what more I can do. Do you know what I mean? I've talked about bestiality, and all kinds of shit. I just
Oh, I
cannot
mean-
get them shut down.
I know. I mean, we've tried everything on Alien X's stream the other night. We were talking about some things, and he deleted it right after we were done because we tried to get it shut down, and YouTube didn't shut us down. But after we were done, Alien and I think somebody else looked at we were on cam or we were in Discord, and we were like, I think we need to just delete this stream right now because I don't think anybody should hear anything that we said.
I get that.
It actually wasn't
if I
us.
haven't got
Girl.
Flash shut down over the last year, then I don't see what else I can possibly do other than posting pictures of my anus.
Please do not. That's mine, and you're not allowed to.
Maybe we should turn it into like a. I mean,
So yeah,
I
kids,
considered
get
it because I
vaccinated.
can do like
or I'll show you
weird
pictures
stuff,
of my
like sit
anus.
on cakes and whatnot.
And
Updated.
actually, no kids should be on this channel at all.
No,
Throwing
Yeah,
that-
this is for only 18 and up.
this is adults
Make
only.
it or live it. No kids.
Bye bye.
Like there's anybody here anyway, kids or not.
Yeah,
Oh,
nobody's watching this anyways. It says there's 9 people, but I don't believe that. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you all again in the side chat and everybody who's watching. You all rock. And in the future, thank you for watching. I don't know how you've made it this far if you're not watching this live, but thank you for watching.
Yeah, why the fuck
Um,
would anybody
that.
watch this after the
And
fact?
also, sorry I'm wearing like way too much highlighter today, but I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, that's what's going to get us shut down.
oh.
Not
I
talking
can't-
about
Yeah, that's what's going to get it shut down.
everything we're talking about.
I'm gonna have to snip your claws, Tusk.
I really like this. Do you see this? I don't have to do anything, and it's
That's
just showing us
brilliant.
all the different places.
I absolutely love
That is
it.
pretty cool. Will you send me a link to that later?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely put it in the side chat in a
first I
minute.
thought-
Yes,
We're
we
just
were
looking
not
at the
doing
world.
that. We're not
It's
doing
really-
too bad in the UK with the vaccination.
I want to get to 69%. That's all I care. I mean, never mind.
What did you say?
I said we're not doing too bad in the UK.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
the problem we have in the UK is similar to the problem you have in the US, where we have a leader who is a moral and political coward.
Not wee Nippy, we're not talking about her.
No, we're talking about Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is a man who writes yes and no on separate pieces of paper, then waits to find out what the answer is before he submits it.
Jeez.
He could have stopped. We're an island, for fuck's sake. We could have halted the spread of coronavirus a year ago, but he was too afraid of upsetting people, and he let thousands and hundreds of thousands of people die before he actually did something. Because I don't know if you've heard the saying that America will always do the right thing once it has exhausted every other possibility.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Totally. That's exactly what
As
Boris
soon as you
Johnson
said
did.
America will always do the right thing, me and Slim are like,
Yeah. Boris Johnson will
but
do the
sorry to
right
interrupt
thing
you,
once
Tuss.
he has no other option.
I realized I forgotten to do loony shots, so I might have to sign up. Do you want to do one more? It's not like a huge deal, but do you want to do your last video and then I'll have to go?
Yeah. So I'll put in the side chat this thingy, Mo Bobber. Everybody say hi to Gio.
Hey, Gio.
Gio.
We love the Geos.
Also, I forgot to say thank you. Gio did the thingies on my stream.
You don't have to thank him every single time.
So before I get to the next thing, does everybody want to see what Gio did for me?
I'm not sure.
So he found this really cool butt plug. Never mind. No, that's another stream.
You
No,
are you sure?
I'm on a page on Facebook. Yeah. It's called Charity Shop Shit, right? Which is Goodwill Shop Shit in the USA, where someone found a Jesus Sacred Heart butt plug in a charity shop.
Yeah. We actually
brilliant.
We featured that on one of our streams. I don't think it was my stream, but it was on somebody else's stream. We featured that we showed
Someone donated that Goodwill Shop.
Somebody there's the photo of it in the glass case or whatever. We showed that. We found the whole article on it. It was so hilarious. So really quick, let me show this, and then we'll get to the race to vaccinate the world that we're gonna get to. Ooh, the cigar cutter, the penis cut. It's
circumciser.
No, I
it's a
Googling with stuff.
Look, this is what he said. I was circumcised when I was a child.
Cutter, like, ooh, this is cute.
I was circumcised when I was a child.
Poor
but I was never told about it, right? And as I got older, people say, "Oh, circumcised, you get the tip of your penis cut off." So I would watch all these porn movies, expecting to see a cock without a head. You know.
And this is why this is why we get into rabbit holes.
And or why we try to inform people about sexuality. So
I was 21 before I realized
it's a cigar cutter.
that circumcision just meant moving the foreskin and not moving the head.
Brought it up.
But anyway, let's try and stay on subject.
Video.
Okay.
I didn't think.
So that's what Gio made for me. I didn't even have to show him that many nude photos of me, and he made that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to bring up something so different.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other video. So he made me a couple really awesome.
That's our OnlyFans. account?
Yeah, it's for our OnlyFans, and we'll talk about that later for the after show. He made me a couple really cool like animations like that for my with my name. So thank you again, Gio, for doing that.
Very nice.
I said I would credit you over and over again for making that for me.
Facebook?
Yeah, that's the one I put on
Yeah,
Facebook.
that was
Yeah.
cool. I thought you made that, but that was really cool.
Yeah, no, Gio made me that one and the other one that I posted on Facebook as well, the one in blue. So really quick, let's show the race to vaccinate the world. Let's hopefully we all get vaccinated soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
COVID-19 vaccine have gone into arms worldwide.
Wow. You might get struck for this one if it's BBC.
Yeah, I totally know that. I couldn't find a better video for it.
Experts are warning that the first generation of vaccines could eventually become ineffective if people around the globe don't receive them fast enough.
The only way to stop COVID right now is really through worldwide vaccination. Nobody's safe until we're all safe, because viruses don't respect borders.
We're taking a look at the data from 5 countries and asking, how is the race to vaccinate looking around the world? In India, only about 10% of the population has received a
India's
dose of
in so much
vaccine.
trouble right now.
Despite keeping cases per
Yeah,
capita
they're
low
screwed.
for
They're
most of the
screwed.
last year,
It's almost like they
UK
threw their
variant
arms up in the
and
air
another,
after a bit. Once it started getting so bad, it was almost like they were just like, you know what?
Well, yeah.
You
One
know.
of the big problems with
So
India.
sad.
Well, there's 3 problems with India.
Hey, you guys.
Most of India is rural.
I can do
Go-
a bit
go do-
longer. I just have to do these drops real quick.
Go do that
Okay.
right quick. Go do that
I'll
right
turn
quick
off
and
my
come back.
mic.
Yeah,
So
totally.
let me just take care of that so I'm not stressing out. Sorry.
All right.
For those of you that don't know, another cat in the neighborhood attacked my cat, and she had literally a whole claw embedded in her eye. So I have to do eye drops for her every so often.
So go ahead and go do that right quick. And to let everybody know, they originally thought that was going to be way worse than it was, and now they're finding out it's going to be a lot better. So the cat's doing really well, and its eyes doing better. I don't think it can see out of that one anymore, but at least it's doing better, and I think it's not losing it or whatever. So
It'll just become a house cat, and that's fine.
yeah, definitely. And I don't think the neighborhood is that bad over there where it couldn't be an indoor or out, but whatever, honey. Let's
Little cats with little tiny sharpened toothbrushes running around the neighborhood.
What's going on in India, right, has 3 major issues. One being economic. People can't travel to vaccination centres. They don't have the money. So one of the I don't know if anybody knows this or how many people know this. One of the reasons that if you look at the Western world is only at 40, 50, 60% coverage with vaccinations, it's because we're having to donate so many to places like India who can't afford them.
Yeah.
So India has got a massive economic problem where they can't afford to buy the vaccines, and so we're having to donate them. But only our surplus, which is ineffective after a few days.
Yeah.
So it's not great. There's a geographical issue. India is massive. It is absolutely huge, and simply getting the vaccine to people in time is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
And we have a religious issue where they believe that not praying the way you do as a Christian you would pray, but to offer up something to a statue of a deity will protect you from the virus. And we're not talking like a few people here, we're talking tens of millions.
Yeah.
Who won't get vaccinated because they've prayed to Vishnu or whatever, deity they believe in. And that is spread right across the Indian subcontinent into the Punjab, into Pakistan, in places like that where they won't get the vaccine for religious reasons. But it only takes one of those people to cross a border. And that's it. You know, that in the entire Indian subcontinent is done. You know, because we're doing the best we can. And now we're flying these things out overnight as fast as we can. But India has something like 1 billion people, 90% of whom live in poverty-stricken rural areas where we can't get the vaccine to them fast enough. And even if we could, they won't take it.
Yeah.
It's so sad. You know? I remember watching a program not long ago. But it's friends of mine who are in a group. I don't know if you know the group Médecins Sans Frontières. It's Doctors Without Borders, essentially.
Okay,
They go in and they vaccinate people, and they were going around doing measles vaccinations and trying to pass out snake anti-venom from cobras. You know, people get cobra bites, they die, so they're trying to pass out these anti-venoms. But they had witch doctors in the villages who would perform these absurd rituals rather than administer the vaccine or the antidote to the poison, and the people would die. Or maybe they would survive, but if they survived, it's because the witch doctor was effective, but they would lose the limb.
Yeah.
You know, they were bitten on it. What's happening in the Indian subcontinent, man, is it's almost like we're back in the 14th century.
I'm back.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy. Thank you for talking about that, Tusk, and letting us know
it was
about.
pretty grim there, but what's happening in India is almost entirely the fault of the Western world.
Yeah, totally, for sure, and that's why we're doing this episode, is because we wanted to talk on this, and I'm glad we're finally getting to this, because this is why we're doing this, is we want to speak about the not so fun stuff about this subject. I know we had a lot of fun in the beginning, and I'm so glad we spent like an hour just having fun. But this is why we actually are doing this, is because of these facts.
And I feel the same. I'm still I was speaking to Slim about this also. I haven't been super social and have been struggling to, now that I have the freedom to do so, to actually do it. And it's like, oh gosh, I become a hermit, I guess. So yeah, we just appreciate you guys being here and shooting the whatever.
Shooting the cow shit with us. I mean,
this is the thing. We have the
YouTube,
privilege.
I forget if I can curse or not.
We have the privilege that we have computers in front of us, and smart TVs and smartphones where we can form a new community, and we've always got somebody we can connect with. And I think we forget that sometimes just how privileged we are.
Yeah.
And goodness knows it's really helped me throughout these tough times.
Yeah, I mean, Ed and I live in the same house most of the time, but we live very, very separate lives.
And I'm glad, even if there was not so many of us today, as always, I'm still really glad that everyone that's here, even those of us that are newer, all feel the same. And we always emphasize that most of us are pro-vaxxers. Cool, sue us. But we still encourage that people do what they feel is right. So
I would disagree with you there.
I'm just trying to be nice.
If you're an anti-vaxxer, then that's fine. You can be an anti-vaxxer all day. I don't give a crap what you believe.
Well,
any more than if you
I
believe
just
in
don't-
God or
I don't
whatever, I
believe
don't
in
care.
telling people what
Yeah.
to do. Is all.
No, this is different. These are different circumstances. I'm willing to sacrifice a degree of personal freedom, and I'm willing to sacrifice your liberty and everybody else's liberty if it means we don't lose millions of people to a virus that we could keep under control if we didn't value personal freedom over social responsibility.
I 100%
Yeah.
agree. I mean, I'm not a anti-vaxxer at all.
Right.
But like I was saying before about my brother, the fact that he respects my choice and he's under certain circumstances that I feel like maybe that choice is good for him. And like I said, I'm really not into telling people what to do, but I'm glad that 99% of us here are vaxxers, and people that aren't are dumb. Just maybe that was not such a good example because he's mentally ill and
Go ahead, Tanner.
Oh, I didn't really have anything to say. All I was going to say is the way I'd kind of agree a little bit with Tusk with like the fact is, yeah, you might have the choice to not vaccinate yourself, but at the same time, I have the right to be healthy and live. And if that means that you have to get vaccinated in order for me to have the right to be healthy and live, then get vaccinated.
Yeah,
and that,
you guys are right, and I'm sorry if that got like
no, we're not saying
we're all on the same page.
Yeah, totally. That's why we're doing like this show today, is because we're trying to get the information out to help people make a better decision for themselves, and that's why we were trying to do these things. Other than keeping my sanity, so I don't go insane for not doing shows.
If not for yourself, then think about like your fellow person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if my brother didn't live in the middle of nowhere, then I'd have a much different opinion.
See, I kind of feel like the only people that shouldn't be getting the vaccine is the people whose turn it's not, and the people that just can't for whatever reason, in case
I agree.
Messes with their heads or whatever.
And
That's
different for everybody.
Otherwise, I do feel it should be pretty mandatory because, I mean,
and they don't
before we get back to the video, I just want to say a joke really quick. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said I'm gonna break into a lab and I steal a bunch of COVID vaccines, and then go to an anti-rally and go just jab everybody that's in the anti-rally, just so that they all get vaccinated or at least get one jab. And if I got to go to jail for the rest of my life for doing that, I don't give a flying fuck. At least like 1,000 people made.
Cool. Like,
one of those
guns, like in Star Trek or whatever.
Yeah, just running around and just jab everybody. I'm just saying, like.
My friend, she has autism, and she said she kept saying, which had me in stitches, but like crying with laughter. But she kept saying, "I can't wait to get my super autism jab now." I was like, "Right, that's not how it works, but like that's what makes you feel better, honey."
Again, before I try to get us to start this, which probably won't happen for another 10 minutes, but. That's the joke that we all have like on certain channels. So how's your Wi-Fi doing? Oh, it's doing way better now that I got both my jabs, or now my microchip's working, or the joke about being whatever did.
Yeah, someone asked me, if my 5G, if I got 5G now, and I said no, but the voice in my head got a lot clearer. It seems to yell at me a lot for watching so much stupid.
The joke is my Wi-Fi.
I really think we could seriously use a lot more UpDog.
Yes. My Wi-Fi works a lot better now. Is all I got to say. Let's keep watching this video.
Yeah.
No one said what's up, dog.
Oh,
havoc. The
What's up,
infection
Doc?
rate was low and well below that of the United States until mid-March when it began to rise. Cases began skyrocketing after a series of religious ceremonies and mass political rallies. India recently surpassed 400,000 new infections in one day, a record for
And
any country
pretty much went
since the
over all
pandemic
of this.
began. Other countries have enacted travel restrictions from the region to try and limit the spread.
I'm announcing that we are temporarily suspending entry into New Zealand for travellers from India.
Despite those efforts, traces of the B.1.617 variant have already been found abroad.
So the idea that we're going to build a wall around the United States or Canada or the UK or France and go back to our business misrecognizes that we are all connected globally. We know we live in a global economy.
Yeah, nowadays.
But what happens when vaccines are slow to arrive in some countries? In Canada, about 40% of the population has received a dose. Slow vaccine distribution, combined with a dominant presence of the UK variant, has meant areas of Canada continue to see lockdown measures to
Wait,
try
there's
to
a
limit the
UK
spread of
variant.
infection.
Okay.
The country's now seeing a rate hovering around 200.
Sorry, I thought
cases
Canadian
per million,
variant. My
which has
brain
been outpacing the
glitched.
daily case rate in the United States. How do lockdown measures pair with higher vaccination rates? In the UK, more than half of the population has received at least one dose.
That's good.
This comes after the UK variant spread quickly domestically and then to 50 other countries. Vaccinations, combined with strict lockdown measures, have dramatically decreased the number of new infections after peaking at over 1,000 cases per million in January.
Damn.
it was
Even
pretty
with
scary for a
vaccinations,
little island.
what are the
Yeah.
risks of easing lockdowns? Chile has staged an aggressive effort to vaccinate its citizens. Despite 45% of Chileans receiving a jab, the country has still seen an uptick in infections, recently peaking at 478 cases per million. Critics say this is due.
Really quick, I want to say that's a weird thing that I've been noticing is there's been a spikes in some of the highest, but there's got to be a reason, and I haven't seen it yet. Exactly what's the proof? And I have videos
The reason is very, very simple, very obvious.
Yeah,
It's warmer weather.
Basically, like
Yeah.
the concentrations of population.
Yeah, as soon as we hit summer, we have higher rates. It's really that simple.
I think
Okay.
it's a mix of many things. I think it's the warmer weather and then the fact that people are hearing about vaccinations being out. That alone, I think, has people relaxed themselves so much.
Yeah.
Oh, vaccinations are
Yeah,
all okay.
we get
and then,
blasé about it.
Yep.
Think, well, I've been vaccinated, I'm fine. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you might still have it and you might still pass it on.
right.
And the vaccination doesn't stop you getting it, full stop.
Well, and
Yeah.
lack of availability, just like John Oliver was saying, a lot of first world countries pre-ordered not just the vaccinations we have available right now, but he was saying they also funded like pre-research for all of that, and cut to a year later, it's the first world countries that have the best accessibility to that stuff.
Yeah.
Which super sucks, and that makes me mad.
So let's keep watching this a little bit more because we're almost done with this. And then we can just do an open chat before we close out here, or we can do something fun before we close. But what I wanted to say is just because you can go and have an orgy doesn't mean you don't wear the condom and the mask. So please wear your condom and your mask, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go.
For reals, if I
Due
was
to
single,
restrictions
sorry.
being loose.
If I was single, I mean, your girl's got to get laid.
Exactly, honey.
You gotta get laid.
Yeah, you got to do what you've got to do.
If I had to do it in a mask, cool.
I'm so doing it in the mask. So, I mean, how many times have, never mind, gas mask sex. I won't talk about who knows
that
about
was
us.
Sunday stream, surely.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Look around a little bit more. What? Who? Huh? What? Mask sex? Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Prematurely.
El gobierno chileno relajó mucho las medidas durante el periodo de vacaciones. Existieron permisos que se dieron a las personas para que se movilizaran dentro del país y además también ocurrieron muchos viajes fuera del país, ¿no? La vacunación comenzó con las personas de mayor edad, pero los casos siguieron en aumento y ahora tenemos el fenómeno de que hay muchas personas cercanas a los 40 años que han necesitado hospitalización.
So, can anyone win the race against the variants? The US has given out the highest total number of vaccines. New daily cases have dropped from around 900 infections per million.
I think this video is like a week old or 2 weeks old, maybe. I don't think it's current. So,
but variants again have fueled an uptick of cases and hospitalizations in other regions. All this amounts to what the CDC is calling a complicated stage of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. They relaxed a little bit once the vaccines were starting to become available. They started relaxing some things, and it caused spikes, along with like what I was saying. But I do need to dip out. So
yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely,
say
brother.
thank you guys very much for having me on today. I got my last and final vaccination yesterday. I got the Pfizer one, so
Well done.
it's feels good, and I'm happy about it. And I ordered something called an Immuniband, which basically it's a wristband that has a QR code on there that you take a picture of your immunization card. So if you go somewhere and you want to prove it, someone can scan that code and see the picture of your vaccination card. So
will you mention that one more time, what that's called? Because I want to get one of those.
Yeah, Immuniband. I'll type out how it's spelled in the chat.
Okay, that would be wonderful, because I think all of us should look into that or have something like that. Because I was at the bar the other day, and I told them I have the vaccine, but I mean, how do I technically prove it or anything? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, I would rather just say, like, here's my proof of it, and without. Okay, thank you, Tanner, very much.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
And tell
I'm
Biscuit. Tell Biscuit we said hello.
I will do so.
Awesome.
Bye.
I'm really glad he brought that up, because that was something that I was concerned about, like, just on social medias and whatever. People going back and forth on the whole, you don't have to wear a mask, or you can if you want. And for example, like, he's in the shower right now. Like my roommate Eric, he works in the produce section of a grocery store, and I'm sure he would feel a lot better if there was a way to just like have a quick glance and tell if someone's like fully vaccinated or not. Like, you're working with food, dude.
Yeah,
Or,
you
know,
got
like
those.
service industry, stuff like that.
There was those fucking idiots in London about a week ago.
That's so cool.
The anti-vaxxers who were wearing yellow stars to identify themselves. If anybody doesn't know, for anybody who doesn't know, during the German occupation of Poland, they made Jews wear yellow stars so they could identify them. So these fucking scumbags are trying to equate themselves with the Jews during the Nazi Holocaust.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm
She's
so
right.
glad I wasn't there, because I would be in jail right now.
And that's the danger of like implicating something like that, is there's gonna be dickheads. Excuse my language, but there's gonna be dickheads that'll say things like that, or have issues, or they don't want to be marked or whatever. But,
The mark of the beast?
I mean, it's a matter of safety. Like, even like with kids and stuff, I saw this thing like here in Denver. They've they made vaccination available for everyone over 12. And I think that's the right age, like, you know, for that kid to give consent or whatever.
Really quick, I just want to say something. Dark Steve, you are in Australia? Am I incorrect in that?
I think he is.
I'm pretty sure, he is.
Dark
Because
Steve,
there's beautiful birds.
Yeah, Dark Steve, if you want to come on the chat or come and join us for a second to talk about what's happening in Australia with vaccinations, we would actually love that, because that's one of the places that I don't know that much about the vaccinations yet. We've been talking about some of the other places in the world, but if you want to come on for a second and just let us know, if it's too early in the morning for you, brother, then don't worry about it. But, you know, and before I get...
heard about New Zealand.
That's the thing, though. See, the island nations, like the UK, New Zealand, and Australia, you've got no excuse for letting the virus get out of control at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like. I'm a big Amanda Palmer fan, or if you guys like the Dresden Dolls, but
okay,
yeah, she's been living in New Zealand, and I should have saved this on her Instagram. This is a couple months ago. She posted like New Zealand was real strict on lockdown, and they haven't had. I think they were one of the first countries to like have a decline in cases, if at all.
Yeah.
And she showed this video of like a summertime fields picnic party with a bunch of people, and I was like, anyways, Rio de Janeiro.
Dark Steve, are you Dark Steve on Discord or not? I'm trying to find you so I can send you the link. I know that you sent me stuff before. I don't remember on which social media outlet or which social media thing it was.
I think I know how to find him.
Wait, what the heck did we just accidentally push on? German priest bless the same-sex union. Oh yeah, that's right. I had this in our queue as well.
From Rio de Janeiro to gay weddings.
Yeah, I have a playlist that's already set up, and it's not in an order of how I want to play things. It's just how the order of when I pick them. So really quick, let's just watch this while I'm trying to get Dark Steve in here to he says he's gonna message me. So if you would love to come in or like to come in, I said love to come in. Would you love to come in?
Would you love to come in? Come in and love us.
No, we would. Yes, exactly, friends. We would love your opinion, though, Dark Steve, because it's in a place that. Well, and I like hearing your voice, there, honey. And once again, I want to say thank you so much for making the 400 per sub special video for me. It was wonderful to see your face and watching you cheers me with an actual beer. And when we're all in Australia one of these days, I don't know when, but when we're all down there, we're all going to visit you and we're going to have a party together for sure.
Do you know what my favorite thing about Australia is? They have these like car rallies, right? That can last 2 or 3 days, but there was a lot of drinking, a lot of fighting, and so on. So they limited people to how many beers they could bring in. It was like 1 case per person per day. So what they did was they went there 2 days early and buried 7 or 8 cases of beer. And so when they got their car searched, they didn't find it. But they had like allocated parking spaces, so they went and buried like 100 beers in the parking space and then just dug them up. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's great. That's so awesome. I've done the opposite version. I've been at a rave.
Would show up like, hey.
Just imagine you just like roll over a spot and you just pull out a shovel. And you're just like
Burning Man, but without the hippies.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I get really triggered by Catholic stuff. No offense if anyone's Catholic.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
okay.
Although I still love having sex with somebody dressed as a nun. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Am I playing the audio or not?
No.
No audio? Okay. It doesn't matter. He's speaking.
Doesn't matter. He's speaking. I can speak German, but I don't know if
Oh,
anybody
a
else can.
Catholic
Yeah,
wedding.
Oh, look at how cute. That's so awesome.
Let's do what? There's gonna Slam. You know, there's gonna be so many freaking weddings this summer. And we're both ordained, baby.
There's going to be a lot for sure. So that's one of the next things that I'm working on. Our EPK, our electronic press kit, is promoting us as officiants, or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired.
So
ordained. Yeah, we're both ordained.
So I mean, I don't want to like label you, dude. I identify as an independent Christian witch. If I'm gonna have to like, if someone asks,
Can you say that again? Because it sounded like you say I identify as an independent Christian wig, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you said.
No, that's what I said.
Oh, you're an independent Christian wig. Okay.
Not bitch, witch.
Oh, I thought you said wig.
Oh,
No, you
right.
broke up, so I
Okay.
couldn't
You
hear
said
you.
wig.
You
not
can't identify as a wig. That's
You
mental.
broke up, so I couldn't hear you. No, witch.
Yeah, he thought you said
And,
wig, as in the hair piece.
I thought
Slim's
you
just
identify as a wig.
Multi-dimensional cyborg.
I get that. But
I get that.
Yes. Sorry. I was
You're
also
probably-
trying to find
you're probably
another
the
video
only-
and stuff.
The only person to be like, yeah, checks out.
That
what
checks
it
out.
is.
Totally a wig.
Totally.
A wig.
Anyways, if you guys ever want to get married,
Yeah, I can say I got married by a wig. That'd be awesome.
Yay!
I
Would
thought
you
I
say
had.
that you were maybe like, I kind of see you like a baby blue ringlet kind of wig?
No, I was thinking more of a beehive.
What
Okay,
blend of both? A beehive with baby blue ringlets.
No, a proper big blonde 50s beehive. You know, like a B-54.
All right, so I got
girls are like,
and
what
hairspray.
kind of wigs should we buy?
Ricky Lake, not divine.
Ooh, wigs. So I got really distracted from the subject, and since Ed got tattooed today, let's look at some really cool tattoos
Yay!
to finish out the
I
night.
let's look
I
at
think
some really shit tattoos. They're always more fun.
we're gonna do that. We'll do that another time. I do
Okay.
have a list of crap tattoos that we.
I love looking at really shit tattoos.
And actually, we're gonna do that on an
That
episode.
could
We're gonna
be
talk.
an entire. That could be a series.
Well, that's what, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna do a
Let's
whole
just-
episode
Remember
on
when we were
bad.
at my house and we were drinking, and
Yeah.
we like got lost in a black hole of like crap tattoos.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
We didn't do this.
I just love
Yeah.
the fact that these people are stuck with that for their whole entire life. That's
You
utterly
say that, and I have one, so don't.
I've got a
I have a
that
couple.
sound
I have a couple.
You know? Yeah.
But what we're gonna do in the episode in the future is we're gonna talk about shite body modifications, people that got stuff done that they shouldn't have got done, or they got them done in the wrong way, and we're gonna talk about the safety in body modifications because we definitely need to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
I need help.
No,
tattoo artist. I want that to be clear.
I just got my lip pierced yesterday, so I got this
yeah,
new.
You did?
Oh, I got this new lip piercing yesterday.
Oh, I didn't notice because you.
Well, because
got your-
it fell out 3 months ago, so nobody's ever actually seen me in person in the last 3 months. So it fell out. I got re-pierced, so you wouldn't have noticed because you haven't actually seen me in person yet. But
no, it blended into your goatee. I actually got well, it's hard to see too.
That's not a goatee.
No.
do things in my nostrils and
I
they're
go to has a
bigger,
mustache as well.
Yeah.
but
I love those.
no one sees them.
It's because your nose is. No, never mind.
Yeah, you brought it back out. Like, I feel like I'm talking to like 2007 Slim.
Yeah, I know it's starting to get long again.
I like it.
Yeah, get a haircut, hippie.
Yeah, exactly. Next Tuesday, I will be getting my silicone balls implanted in my arm. So under my ants, I will have more of these silicone beads implanted in me. So I'm gonna get.
Cut up for you.
What was that?
Was it the ones you showed me that they cut up for you?
Yeah. So a couple are gonna go under here, and then a couple are gonna go in my hand, and so we're gonna do as many implants as my body will let me take, and I have 10 to do. So if I can get 10 put implanted in me, I'll totally take it. But we'll probably get to 5 because
10 is probably too much.
Well,
That may be.
you and I need to talk about the magnet thing.
Yes, yeah, I definitely need to do that experiment soon. I will definitely work on that.
I trust you guys. So you already have one, and then did you already get your second one? Or?
I have two. So I have one here.
But I wanted it in my face.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how that would like how the magnetic field would affect me.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do it first and then be like, if I'm not retarded after a few months.
Yeah. So Serena, I know we don't really want to talk about the name Unspoken, but she had one here. Didn't she get one there?
I think she only had the one in her finger.
Okay. Somebody I knew, I thought got it here, and they were saying it was okay being there. So that's where our first instinct to it being okay was there. But I will totally.
I just wanted to do it like kind of like a third eye thing, like because I'm not one of those people judge me. I like to go to Burning Man sometimes or whatever, but I'm not one of those. And I don't hang out with. No offense if you are. People that are big into crystals and crap like that. But I do believe in electromagnetic field. It's like, that's just science, dude. So I did kind of want to experiment with like maybe having one here on my temporal lobes. Just cause.
Yeah, definitely. What up, Dark Steve?
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, Dark Steve.
Hello.
Will we hear the birds today?
It's morning, so we probably should.
Yay!
So we were talking about vaccines, and now we're on body modifications. I'm gonna guess that you're a little modified there. So what? You don't have to get specific, of course. I mean, if your genitalia is done, you don't have to tell us. But what modifications do you have done, Dark Steve?
I've got tattoos basically everywhere. Sorry, there's a baby crying in the background. So I've got my knuckles done, my arms are done, I've got tattoos on my legs, my back, my shoulders. The only piercing that I ever had was I got my eyebrow done, and then I was working one day and a chook actually ripped it out. So I never got it done again. But I want to get the snake bites or the under the lip ones, like old mate from Disturbed, how they go down under his lip. Yeah.
Cool, Papa.
Okay. So since so most of all of us are modified a lot. Let's just put it that way. That are on the panel. Everybody say hello to the plot hole as he does a drive-by. Please don't get hit by the silicone bullets or the condom bullets he's going to shoot us. I mean, never mind. If you did not, I was trying to make it sexual while not being sexual while talking about a drive-by. That's what I was getting at. But anyways, if anybody did not see my interview with a plot hole last night, please go over there, check out his channel. I believe you are a mod. Let me double check that there. Yeah, so go ahead if you would like and put the link to the interview that you did with me. Yeah, I was trying to make it sexual with like rubber and bullets, and never mind what I failed.
Now I feel like
See, when you said
Yeah, no one got that at all.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought about
It
the
didn't.
vibrating kind.
Yeah, I failed for sure. But if Johnny, if you want to put that in the side chat, the link to my interview last night, it was a lot of fun. I got to speak about some things that I hadn't really talked about before. I was a little nervous in the beginning. Some people mentioned, but I got into it after a couple of beers, and we had a lot of fun last night. So,
sorry, all I'm picturing. Okay, so Eric, my roommate, suggested that show, The Good Place, and there's this part. No spoilers, so don't worry. There's this part where they accidentally blow up a demon, and this other demon is talking about. He's like, "Oh, as long as you gather up the goo, because when they explode, they turn into goo." There's like stages of like demon growing up. So he's like, "Yeah, you're like a ghost, and then you're a creepy little girl, and then you're a teenage boy, and then you're a ball of tongues, and then you're a social media CEO, and then you're a demon." So when you mention the condom thing,
that's where your head
instead
went.
of a
Okay.
ball of tongues, I pictured a ball of condoms.
The last time I saw a bowl of condoms. Go ahead, Ed.
Not a balloon condom?
No, a ball of condoms.
Not a nice flavored balloon?
Oh, I was thinking a bowl of condoms, but that was the last time I went to the Coke Mansion party. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. So let's watch this video.
Yeah, forget the.
Hello, everyone. There are an overwhelming number of tattoo styles, and each person can find the one that suits them best. But not everyone can afford a hyper-realistic tattoo, since they are very expensive and there are very few experts capable of creating this kind of tattoo. These works look like real paintings or photographs on the skin, and today you're gonna see it for yourself. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get it on.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
Incredible geometry. What is the first thing that pops into your mind when you hear the word hyper-realism? Probably very elaborate portraits of people or a still life painting where every little detail seems real. In short, works that look like a high-resolution photograph but are actually not. We could also include so-called trompe-l'oeil or optical illusions.
That is not how you pronounce that.
No, it's not.
So hard.
In this style, artists create
That makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
What, the look of that, or that they call it Trump something?
Trompe-l'oeil is not how you pronounce
Oh,
it.
that
Yeah, that's not how you.
people are afraid of holes.
That tattoo is uncomfortable.
Tryptophilia or something.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
It's just, it makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know why. It's a little spooky, but I think it's because it doesn't look real.
Wasn't that tattoo exposed as a fake a couple of years ago?
They used a bunch of filters, and it's not. Yeah. That doesn't exactly look like
what that looks.
Yeah, that technically, like if you look at the top of her leg and you look at the bottom of her leg, the way that the kind of fuzzy, or I don't know how to say it, but they put filters on it to make it look way better. And unfortunately, some of these, that's what's it's gonna be, is they just filtered it a little bit to make it look more realistic. Yeah. But they're a lot of fun to see what people have done with the body.
And not to like
downplay or
to throw shade or anything. Because I do the same like with my photos, like with my cooking channels and even my own like selfies. There's a difference between people that do like heavy crap or like bend the whole background to make it look like, I don't know.
And
you know
and what? Yeah,
but
and what?
there's that, and then there's like adjusting the brightness, and I think
Yeah,
that's
and
what they did here.
yeah, and one other thing is that may look like that for the first month, but in 2 years it ain't gonna look like that.
Oh no, it's
so
anything like that.
yeah. So all right, let's get into a little bit more because there's a couple of them that I just am amazed by.
Drawings on the human body that seem real but cannot actually exist in real life. It's very difficult to describe these masterpieces created by the American master Jesse Ricks. Best to see them with your own eyes. His works feature different fantastic themes, such as faces of aliens and avatars,
Damn,
space
look at
galaxies, and other dimensions. But any tattoo artist could do something like this. What distinguishes Jesse from others is that in his work, he creates geometric compositions, such as cubes and hexagonal prisms. As a result, it seems as if the skin breaks into pieces, creating an unusual puzzle and opening up a mysterious world inside. It's a bit creepy, but mesmerizing.
I really like those.
Patch on the skin. About 10 or 20 years ago, when it wasn't possible to buy your favorite band's merchandise online, fans had to find very creative ways to show their love for a band. For example, sticking an embroidery patch with the band's logo on their jeans, jackets, and backpacks. No one does that today, but there is perhaps
I love how
one
they're showing
exception.
them.
The amazing Brazilian artist Duda Lozano. When you see the tattoos in his characteristic style, you might think that someone has glued them to the skin
yo.
with an iron, as is
That
often
is
done with real
awesome.
patches. But don't worry, the artist
Oh
I
my
just like
gosh.
to, I would just like to say no one puts patches on anymore. Heavy
Shut
metal,
up.
anybody?
Yeah, no, I hear you, brother. But that's really amazing. I mean, I get how they textured it and how they made it because I was taught by Enigma how to tattoo, and it was very basic, and I really don't understand how to tattoo, but I know shading and line work and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of a cool concept to make them look like they're.
I still collect, like, even if I don't put them on everything.
Yeah.
Like patches and stuff. Like, I still have, like, just here on the fridge, I have my Plague Chef patch that is still there because I couldn't decide what to put it on.
Yeah.
Thing.
And it's old school punk rock, you know, it makes us feel old school. I mean, we are old school, most of us, but it makes us feel like it's not so old, I guess.
Why do I want to like lick it?
I don't know.
It's
a you
might want to keep that to yourself.
No, but it looks like it's gonna be that strange
The
mouse.
scratch and sniff almost.
No, like like the
If you want to lick a
patches
patch,
have-
I'll give you my cup and you can lick it all day.
Oh, cute! Thank you.
Okay. Okay, convince me. I was just offering if you wanted to come in, but I understand if you can't. Anybody else in the side chat that like we normally let into the streams, if you would like to come in, please come in. And then everybody say hi to convince me.
Hey, Jay.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm going to play a little bit more of this video, and I have to Riley. So give me 30 seconds while I'm playing this video, and you all talk amongst yourselves while I'm playing the video. And when I come back, hopefully we'll be stopping it then, or that somebody hasn't asked to stop it yet, and something cool hasn't gone by. So let's keep watching.
artist doesn't use sadistic methods, although the process of drawing on the skin is not at all relaxing. The main secret of the artist's hyper-realistic works is a special hatching technique and an incredible knowledge of light and shadow. He pays attention to detail. The Brazilian artist even adds black lines to the outline of the tattoo to imitate the threads sticking out of a patch. Even funny cartoon characters, fashionable branded shoes, and famous soccer club logos look unusual in this style. Would you dare to get one of these patches? Passionate Writer. Has it ever happened to you that you've been running around the house looking for an item only to discover that you had it with you all this time? Like the glasses that were on your head all this time? You don't have to worry about this guy. The pen behind his ear will never get lost. It's too bad it's not going to work, though. We wonder how many times people have asked him to borrow the pen without realizing it wasn't real. Third eye. Normally it's said that a third eye can appear on the forehead, but this daredevil chose a more unusual place for it. You have to admit that this tattoo gives you goosebumps.
It's like an alien.
staring into my soul. We certainly don't envy this guy's dentist. He probably had to get used to being watched all the time. Future of prosthetics. Those who have dreamed of becoming a Terminator since childhood should visit the next tattoo artist.
I'll be back.
Yomiko Moreno from Brooklyn is a recognized expert in this area. With the help of ink and tattoo machines, he can implant all kinds of cyborg gear under the skin of his clients, like sensors, wires, and iron details. And thanks to the perfect use of perspective and light and shadow, he creates genuine three-dimensional images. But Yomiko doesn't just turn his customers into copies of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He also uses his deep knowledge of the fine arts to create large-scale masterpieces. For example, he can copy the intricate works of Da Vinci and Rubens onto the skin of his clients, or create realistic images of anything from a monstrous giant octopus to a famous soccer player. Jumping from a skyscraper. When you see this huge tattoo, you immediately know that its owner not only loves to decorate his own body with different images, but he also has an excellent sense of humor. Imagine what this tattoo would look like if its owner got fatter or more muscular.
Oh, jeez.
Ankle bow. The owner of this hyper-realistic tattoo.
That's cute.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that do the bows for different, in different places, like for corsets. I'm sorry, not corsets. Leggings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that have them on their thighs and things.
Well, I was more ewing at imagine if someone gained weight or blah blah blah. Like, as long as you like, I mean, like women having babies or whatever.
Yeah, that was another reason why
I freaking human being. As long as you take care of your tattoo and put sunscreen on and moisturize your skin, it's gonna look the same if you gain weight, just bigger.
Yeah.
Like everyone that makes that comment makes it sound like your tattoo is gonna melt off if you gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just like, what's your tattoo going to look like in 30 years? Like it does now, like a fucking boss, right?
Like a boss.
Yeah, yeah. Like I really care what my stuff looks like when I'm 90 years old. I mean, I'm probably going to be in a grave by then. So what
Yeah,
am
be
I?
dead by then. I couldn't care a fuck less. If I don't care now, what makes you think I'm going to care in 30, 40 years' time?
I'm not big
Well, I would
into
like-
realism. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying I would not like that to happen to Tusk, and I would like to keep him. And I was yelling at
Yeah, but
Irish.
someday you're
patches.
going to die one day, don't you?
No, you're not allowed. You have to ask for permission.
Probably in a great big 750 fireball, you know. Hopefully that's how I die. I don't want to die on a machine that goes ping. I want to die in a big rubber and steel fireball where I crash into the side of a truck and blow the whole place up.
No, you're
Like
not
in the
allowed to do
movies.
that. I said no.
Okay, before I start this, I just want to go out saying, I bet you that can't fit. And that's how I want to go out. Okay, anyways, let's start the...
Must be a fan of pinup. The playful bows on her ankles perfectly match the style of the famously bright American postcards, which were very popular in the 1950s. The result is very realistic and, most importantly, these bows will never untie, unlike real ones. Workaholic. All that is mine I carry with me is what we could say about the owner of this unusual tattoo, who's probably an auto mechanic. The tools look so real that you want to take them off the leather strap. Soccer uniform. Everyone knows how important football is to the people of Brazil. Residents of that country often learn to play as soon as they start walking, and it's a must to have a favorite soccer team. One of the most famous teams in Brazil is Flamengo, based in Rio de Janeiro.
Please
The next
don't
protagonist
tattoo.
of our
No,
video is a
please
fan
don't.
of this
No,
club, but
don't.
Jose Mauricio de Años is not just a fan. He doesn't just go to the stadium and watch his favorite team's games on TV. His love for flamenco is so deep that he decided to imprint it on his body for the rest of his life, and not with the simple tattoo on his arm, but with drawing on his whole torso, imitating his team's red and...
That strip's going to change over time.
For the record, I dated a Brazilian guy for a while, and he told me so I like soccer. I used to play soccer, and he'd always be like, the British invented it, but Brazil perfected it. But he was telling me it's that serious there that like, and if anyone's listening from Brazil, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is just what I was told. They take it so seriously that like, even a local game, if you go to a match or whatever and your team loses and you get caught like walking into the wrong parking lot or wearing the wrong color, you could get killed. Like, it's that serious. So
Oh yeah,
it's
that happens
really
in
by this.
Scotland as well. That's
Yeah.
just soccer.
Yeah,
That
that's just
happens
soccer.
in the
That we're
UK.
like,
If you're from
soccer.
Manchester and you end up in Liverpool, you can get killed. If you're in Glasgow and you've got a Celtic top on, Rangers fans will kill you, or vice versa. That's pretty common, unfortunately.
Well, remember when I had green hair and I got shouted at in the street?
Yeah, and I turned
Because
around
I
and said,
had
"What
hair?
was that?" And they ran back and hid inside the pub.
Yeah, because he never realised me and my sister were together.
Yeah. It's quite common for soccer fans to kill one another because they're wearing the wrong colours. It's not just Brazil, unfortunately.
Stabbing here is a really serious issue, and it's they normally stab each other.
Yeah, and that's why this gentleman doing this is like so anti. Other than how ridiculous it is just to do it, he's doing this so he can just walk. Never mind. Let's watch more because I think we're almost out of this. And I want to get to one of the ones on this dude's throat that I want to talk about.
Black shirt. To get this tattoo, Jose had to undergo 32 painful sessions lasting several hours. Overall, the process took a whole year. Hopefully, in a couple of years, the club's management won't think about suddenly
It's gonna get
changing the
so
color of the
splotchy.
uniform.
It's not-
Imagine how disappointing that would be.
Yeah, as soon as they change this, that means
Superhero Fist. Do you remember the cartoon character who used to eat spinach? His name was Popeye the Sailor, and his arm muscles, for some reason, were not very proportionate. The Russian tattoo artist Alina Fokina decided to draw this character on the forearm of one of her clients, and the result is very fun.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah,
I thought it was that somebody got the Iron Man glove tattooed on their hand, but the guy that did it made such a fucking mess of it.
Well, have you guys seen that meme? I don't think it's this tattoo. Oh, I'm pointing. But something similar, and someone made a meme like, what if that's the hand you masturbate with?
Having Popeye jack
You have
you
to
off
close
4
your eyes.
times a day.
Close your eyes.
Right.
And breathe.
I wish I could find the photo. I'm gonna look for it while we're watching this some more. I tattooed the Joker smiley face on somebody's hand so he could put his hand up to his face and have the Joker smile. He paid me to do it, so I did it. I mean, I was not that happy
Honestly,
with it,
this is just a testament to our friendship. I'm actually legitimately relieved that you said on someone's hand, because I thought you were going to say you put on your balls or your butt or something.
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
Okay, let's watch it a little bit more.
Funny. And here's a similar tattoo, only based on another universe. It's Ryu, the main character in the video game series Street Fighter, who seems to be a really good fighter. Realistic portraits. You should think very carefully before tattooing the face of a loved one or a celebrity on your body. Very few tattoo artists can create realistic portraits, and in this case, the result is very important. Otherwise, you'll have to spend your whole life with the disfigured smile of a loved one on your shoulder.
It's beautiful.
But among many untalented realistic portrait tattoo artists, there are true masters. Like Polish artist Karol Rybakowski from the city of Rybnik. You'll not be surprised to hear that before his career as a tattoo artist, he studied painting at the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw. However, this is not enough to be successful in the tattoo business. Canvas and paintings are very different from machines and skin. Karol has developed a unique style over the years and today is one of the leading masters of hyperrealism. Of course, look at these lively eyes of Jimi Hendrix, which are looking right into your soul. Creepy monster. In their pursuit of authenticity, some tattoo masters use unusual tricks. For example, they use only white paint, which is usually used to create reflections. When applied correctly, it creates a scarring effect that many people find very attractive. And if you apply a little more imagination, you can get something like this: a strange monster with claws trying to break through the skin. Computer code tattoo. We want to talk about computer technology for a second, but we promise not to bore you. In the early 1960s, American programmers created a code named ASC2, in which characters correspond to different printable and non-printable numbers and symbols. We won't tell you where and how it's used. The most interesting thing is that with the help of this code, you can create real images, not only on the computer, but also on the human body. This is exactly what the famous tattoo artist Andreas Vrontis from Cyprus does. According to the artist, ASC2 graphics have always fascinated him, but he didn't know how to use them in real life, and we understand it. Not only do you need to generate a beautiful sketch, but also to manually fill in thousands of tiny symbols so that the whole image looks complete. Between the lines and characters, there is almost no space, and therefore no room for mistakes. However, Vrontis managed to make his long-standing dream come true, and today he's the only coding tattoo artist in the world. ID card.
Lilu Dallas multitask.
Any adult has found themselves in a situation where they urgently need.
Yeah, except for they don't stay, so that they don't work for free.
The thing is, about using white ink. When the sun hits white ink, it goes yellow. So don't think to get a white ink tattoo, it's going to pop, because it really isn't.
Slim, do you remember when I wrote that article? There was people experimenting with QR tattoos, and you had to do it like super precisely for them.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
So,
the dancing pirate tattoo was the first one.
What we do have something different though. It's like a chip. It's like that. Anyways, go ahead.
The actual tattoo or the fake printable thingy mabobber?
So the article I wrote was about before people were doing like chips or anything like that, or readable barcodes. They were experimenting with QR codes because I'll have to do some research on it. QR codes because they were like, because they have to be precise as far as tattooing, they were easier to tattoo. And so like for example, they do like one in the middle of a design, for example. So you could run your phone across and like it would either complete the design or do a little animation, whatever. So sorry, it just reminded me of
Yeah,
that.
I've seen that, and it scanned somebody's heartbeat, and like it would bring up a heartbeat sound on somebody's phone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they made a couple. They made a couple different tattoos that did certain things. The only problem was is they didn't last very long. A couple months into it, there was enough fading or enough changing that it didn't really work. But eventually, we'll be able to use those for things like that to be able to have some kind of app read them or look something up. That's why I have the microchips, because it was a lot easier just to get the microchips so they could go to my website than the tattoo that may or may not work.
Yeah, the problem with those was like the ASC2 is like so intricate. They're all going to bleed into one another, and over the space of maybe 2 years, what started out as a awesome looking portrait is going to just become an indistinguishable blob of black ink.
Eric and I watched a thing on like LA style, like Chicano, like black and gray tattooing style, you know what I mean? And that's why I choose like more illustrative like this, because I really like having color, but sometimes you have to be realistic, like, and I do enjoy those ones that are half illustrative, half realistic, but I feel the same. I'm like, that's not gonna last that long.
Yeah, and then really quick before we show a little bit more of this, and then I want to show a hilarious conspiracy theorist thing about 666 being implanted in us with the vaccine. There are printable tattoos as well that they were using for sensing certain things. So they were put onto the top of the skin, and after a couple months, they would come off. And they did have a thing that I don't remember 100% how it recorded data or if it changed colors for certain reasons, but that's another medical thing they were doing, and I off the top of my head don't remember, and we'll talk about in the near future about what those printable what it is
Is it like
they were
one of those things where it like reads your pH or some shit?
it was to tell if you were in toxic situations. So if you were in the battlefield and there was a toxic gas, this sensor on your hand would start turning colors, so you would know, hopefully before you died or got exposed to this gas, that you could tell that you were around it. I don't remember what gas it was. I will definitely relook that up and post that in the near future, whatever I'm speaking about. But that's another thing, is having these temporary printable tattoos that will take in data same way, shape, or form.
Polish where you can like put your finger in your drink and see if someone roofied you or not.
Roofied you or something. Yeah, totally. So it's the same difference. It has a sensor that's going to change colors if it gets exposed to a certain thing. So I think there's just one. No, actually, we're at the end of this. Let me just get to our thing, and then we'll close that tonight because we're about ready to be at 3 hours. So
I'm close to keeling over, so I'm glad you said that.
Lightweight.
Well, it's not my fault I'm asleep yet.
well, and I understand when you get modified, then it makes you a little. But let's watch this funny thing. We'll laugh at it, and then we'll end the show.
Yay.
It's a sensor.
This tiny green thing in there.
That tiny green thing in there. You put it under.
Thing.
And what? It's a sensor.
This tiny green thing in there.
That tiny green thing in there.
I don't know why
Put
it played
underneath
twice.
skin.
It was just
And
a
what
video
that
that they.
tells you is
I
that
don't know why it's so funny already.
going on
Tiny
inside,
green thing.
and that signal means you're going to have symptoms tomorrow.
Wow.
Wow.
What utter shit.
It's not a microchip. It's just actually a little piece of film that they embed under your skin, and if it turns a color, that means that you're infected with COVID. It's not practical. It's not practical anymore. It's just a really cool thing that maybe we can use in the future for other diseases. So maybe
like a litmus paper.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no
just
need to inject it under your skin. You can.
No. You're correct. You're correct, sir. I'm just it is. And then what all these conspiracy theorists are saying is this is the mark of the beast. This is what they're going to implant in us that are going to whatever the hell it is for whatever. But it's a really cool implement that they can take this a thing and be able, like say if you're in an area that it may not be that easy to test right away. I don't know what the circumstance could be.
Or like, for example, if you're disabled or have a pre-existing autoimmune situation, that would be awesome.
Then maybe having it be that instant may be beneficial. And I don't know if they talk about it in here, but what they're speaking about is using it in soldiers in the army. So if you're walking through a battlefield, if you see this thing turn a color, you're like, oh crap, we came in contact with something. I need to go start getting medical attention right now.
Yeah, and honestly, that totally makes sense because like, just in the same way, even if you move to a different climate or location, that your body's not used to.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way soldiers might be stationed somewhere that they might be halfway across the globe, that their body has like no defense against a new climate or new flora,
And I
fauna,
don't
da da da.
and I don't know how
Like someone might not even know if they're sick.
yeah, and I don't know how far this may go in the medical community, but that may be another thing. Is if you had a thing on the side of your hand to tell you if you have the flu or not, or you're sick or not, it may be awesome because you could just look at your hand and go, "Oh, I'm sick today. I probably need to call in sick for work." Not because I feel bad, because I am actually contagious at this point, and I don't want to give it to my coworkers or whatever. I don't know the complete implications of it. I just thought this idea was very fun, and the conspiracy theorists are saying this is the mark of the beast because they have a little film that they can put in the body that will react to whatever pathogen or whatever this is. So let's just watch a tiny bit more because it's not more information, but it's just a novelty. Again, like Tusk was saying, and I was saying, this isn't very practical per se right now, but eventually in the future, it may be used for, and or if we use it for certain, like the flu or just cold, or I don't know what other, like if you have a immune system disorder, this may help you to know before you get sick to go start getting treatment before it actually becomes a problem. So this is just preemptive care, and I think that's the positive thing we need to be thinking about, is how to preemptively care for ourselves to know if we have something that may be wrong in the future that we can prevent, I think. And if I'm wrong, just spank me later.
My brain just fried.
We challenge the research community to come up with solutions that may sound like science fiction. And we're very willing to take chances with high-risk investments that may not work. But if they do, we can completely transform the landscape.
Yeah, it's this idea that Bill Gates is somehow behind COVID so he can plant us all with microchips. Have you ever seen Bill Gates? Have you ever heard Bill Gates speak? He's not some evil genius. He's a skinny little nerd with no shoulders, who
He
got
knows
lucky.
he knows ones and zeros. That's it. It's
Yeah.
not like it's further than. So
It's like, dear America.
Why would they want to track us with GPS though?
Yeah.
They
Dear
played
America,
that clip
please,
of him and his wife.
put the Bible
She
down.
was like, that technology doesn't even exist yet. I mean, you can have chips like what you have, but like to inject a chip in with your vaccine, she's like, that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, how small do these people think microchips are?
Yeah, exactly. They don't understand size, just like flat earthers. They
Yeah,
don't
no idea
understand
of scale
size.
at all. These aren't nanobots they're talking about here. This isn't fucking science fiction.
Yeah, it's all
Now,
freaking flat earthers.
the thing that this piece of film that turns a different colour depending on your pH level or whatever, that's great. But there's a saying, and it rings true, that the military is always perfectly prepared to fight the last war. Right? We're always developing technology based on what's happened previously. So if they inject us, and I'm not a soldier anymore, with this piece of film or whatever it is, it can change colour depending on if you've been exposed to gas or chemical attack. That's great if the gas or chemical agent is the one they used last time. If it's not, it's utterly redundant.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and it's in a effed up way encouraging that coming from you as someone not from the US, that that's across the board as far as the military having that kind of vibe. I don't know. it's weirdly encouraging
Yeah.
that maybe globally militaries are thinking in that same direction.
Well, yeah, the push of the main military powers over the last 20 years has been remote conflict. Ground troops are more or less redundant these days.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah.
the next war will be fought by computers at range, and there won't be any conflict, like one-to-one conflict. There won't be another ground war like we saw in like World War II or Afghanistan or Iraq. That's not going to happen again. It's going to be a remote war fought with technology. So we don't need to inject all our soldiers with reactive agents and reactive films. It's just not going to happen. These are startups that will never ever get anywhere.
It'll probably be a process.
Yeah, well, once again, I believe we're going to use this for civilians. It's going to be used for people who are diabetic or for some other reason.
Yeah, it'll be some. Yeah, diabetics is a good example. If your blood sugar drops below a certain level, you'll
Then
have a
light
little light will come on, so you know.
Yeah, I could have my LED on if for some reason there's not or a spike.
Yes. Hey, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Before me and At pass out, I'm gonna sign off. I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I
and
just
other stuff.
I just want to show this as we bow out, everybody. So, Sierra, do you want to push anything before we leave?
Not really.
Okay.
Let me think for a second.
That was easy.
Okay. Ed, what
No,
do you
not
know
really.
who? Okay, Ed, do you know who you're having on for Saturday yet?
Yeah.
Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah, Sunday, at 6 o'clock UK time. I have Steve I.
Nice. And what will you all be discussing?
I believe astrophotography and telescopes.
Nice. Awesome.
Proper
Oh, yeah.
detail. And there's a surprise. I
Yay,
think there's a surprise on it.
Awesome. So, Ed, if you want to put the link to that, if you have it up yet, if not, put a link to your channel, please, in the side chat.
I don't have a link to that yet, but I will put one to my channel.
Okay, definitely. And Sierra, if there's any links that you want to promote, put it in the side chat or put it in the private chat, and I will put it in the side chat. We want to promote your what's your Instagram? What do you do on the Instagrams?
To be honest, I was just gonna say, we found out our landlady is selling our house, so I've been busy with moving and stuff. But if you do want to follow me on Instagram, it's just my name, siara-gray.
Sweet. So the whole dungeon is moving. So once the dungeon is moved, we'll let everybody know when that is, and then we will show everybody the dungeon once it's moved. I'm just
And
kidding.
send me more cats.
And send more cats. And so Dark Steve, do you have anything to promote?
Only the swordsman show that we do every week. We missed last week's, but just quickly. So when going back to the COVID, our population here is about 25 million, and so far only 3.1 million of us have been vaccinated, and it's only for people over 50s at the moment. Yeah.
I feel bad because I didn't get to you and we asked you on to talk about that, and then my dumbass totally. But thank you for letting us know about that, and thank you. Yeah, and thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk to you in the future maybe about this and see if it's changed any or any other statistics. Tusk, what you got to say for closing out?
Not a great deal. I did a reply to Chris Durham's music channel after he delivered probably the most boring fucking lecture on jazz I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
So I made a video which I'm surprised hasn't been taken down yet.
Yeah. Go ahead and put
go and watch that.
No. Go ahead and put the link for that in the side
No,
chat,
honestly,
please.
I don't want anybody to watch it. I don't want to draw attention to myself.
Well, then
Okay, because I watched it. It was hilarious.
You've said it now.
Yeah.
See,
So
my teddies are the star of the show in that video. That's all I'm saying.
So nobody go and watch that video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Whatever you do, don't watch that video.
Yeah. Don't respond to
genuinely,
it. Don't.
I keep on saying
And
this
don't
to people.
Google either of us.
Don't watch my video. Don't subscribe to my channel. You're just going to be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do it.
All right, dudes. Well, I really gotta go. I got shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Thanks so much for joining us and tolerating our dummy butts. Yeah, sorry I haven't been like super present on social medias. I just been busy packing out my house and stuff and taking care of my cat and whatever. But love you, appreciate you.
See ya.
Siara-gray out.
Want to be it.
So really quick before we end, those are the beads I'm going to be getting implanted in me. They may be a little hard to see. I'll pull one out for everybody to see, and then I'm going to close out on. There's a channel called Noise Filter, and they are a couple of doctors, and they go over a bunch of medical stuff. And the thing we're going to watch is about how the vaccine is, how the vaccine works and what it does in the body. So that's the silicone bead implant I will be getting implanted in my body. I have 10 of those that will be put in my body next Tuesday. So once I get those,
just say your butt. We all know you mean your butt.
yeah, exactly, in my butt, and they'll go in all over my body, and we're gonna cut a couple in half, and we're gonna do some experiments. Luckily for me, I have a gentleman who is willing to help me modify my body, even though he has a lot of experience. When the government in Colorado decided it wasn't going to have body piercing and tattoo conventions here, he actually went in front of Congress and spoke on why we should have tattoo and body modification conventions, and actually got it overturned for us to have them. So the person who works on my body is somebody who's very, very experienced in it and knows enough of it to be able to get that overturned in Congress. So after that get done, I will show everybody the end results. So let's say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
And we will exit out on this cute little video, and we will see you all Thursday. Tomorrow is TMI show. I don't know what the subject is. Do you know what the subject is at?
I wasn't really online today, so
Yeah,
if there was
totally.
a subject, I never got to see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't either. I was working all day. We usually have a wheel and we spin. There's a category, and then there's subjects in the category that we spin and we talk about, and we have lots of fun. I try to get the stream shut down every time talking about sexual stuff, and it never works. I know, I'm very naughty. It never works, but we try. Then Friday's Pip, Saturday is cookie and biscuits. I'm almost positive it's going to happen this Saturday. If not, it's going to be just cookie with guests, and we're going to move that if we need to do that. And Sunday is game. Well, in the morning is going to be Red Dead with Slim. Then it's going to be Et's Craft Corner, and then it will be game night. And then we will share all the links.
I did forgot to say, if anybody was interested in being on the Hobby Corner, please send me a little message, and you can tell me what your hobby is and if you're available.
Yeah, find her on the Discords. If you don't, you aren't Discorded with her. If you don't want to put that in the side chat, just go to all the Discord things, and you'll be able to see her and find her there. And then contact her. If anybody has anything else to say, please do. Otherwise, we're going to show this silly video.
No.
No. Sleep.
Video time.
Silly video is all right. Here we go. Thank you all very much. I love you all. Please thumbs up, comment, leave anything, share, all that fun stuff, and to get us more exposure on the YouTubes, because small channels matter, even though to YouTube we don't. But please help us out.
Hey ho, let's go. I'm Dr. Mark Allanderi, and I'm an infectious disease doctor and epidemiologist.
And I'm Doc Griggs, and I'm a community health specialist. Speaking of special, today's podcast is coming live from inside the human body.
So, Doc Griggs, does that make it a podcast?
Dude, don't make me regret sharing my space-time hop trick with you. Thanks, TV sitcoms.
So, these COVID-19 vaccines are super safe and effective, and thankfully, were developed quickly in response to the global pandemic.
First, let's explain how the coronavirus makes us sick. Ooh, check out those spike proteins on the
This is so
coronavirus.
punk rock.
They help it burst through healthy cells, where it replicates inside, destroying the cells and making us sick. I really hate that dude.
The vaccine will take care of him. Vaccines stimulate your immune system to fight viruses. Some of the COVID-19 vaccines work by delivering mRNA to your cells. Think of mRNA as instructions that activate the immune system.
Let's check out a healthy cell to see how mRNA works. The COVID-19 vaccines deliver a package loaded with millions of mRNA to your cells. Then the ribosomes read the genetic code on the mRNA like a manual and produce spike proteins that mimic the COVID-19 ones.
That's
That
so awesome.
stimulates your immune system to make antibodies. Now, off to the lymph nodes.
Here's where antibodies are created. The heroes that fight coronavirus. The spike proteins attach to the antibody, leaving an imprint of the spikes, basically setting a trap for the nasty coronavirus.
This part of the antibody attaches to these spike proteins on the coronavirus. It immobilizes the virus and stops it from infecting our cells and making us sick.
If an actual coronavirus comes into the body, the antibodies are ready to rumble. Battle faster! That's why COVID-19 vaccines are essential for teaching your immune system how to fight off the coronavirus.
And that's our show for the day. Ready to roll?
I've got this.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?